Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. All right, let's get down to business, shan't we? Make sure everything is kosher with this here live broadcast. Just waiting for it to go live here on my feed. You all may already be watching. Just waiting for the feed to go live on my end so we can get down to business. Let's mute the microphone here. It would appear that it's gone live. I'm waiting for it to come up on my feed over here on my phone. But for everybody that's watching, if you can hear me, welcome. Thank you for being here. Hello to Harvey D. Ford. Hello to Humv. It looks like Humvee is the name. Says hello. Harvey D. Ford says hi. Excellent. So I'm waiting for what should be the show to start here. For whatever reason, in my feed, we've got Zajman says hi. Hello, Zajman. Let's get some water since I'm going to be talking for a while here. Let me just preface this whole show by saying I'm extremely excited about what I have to share with you tonight. Nothing I'm going to share with you is anything original that I made up. This isn't something that I have worked to understand for 30 years. This is coming from the wisdom of many people before me and my own observations in this space. So I've titled this, Don't Start Your YouTube Career, your YouTube channel, your social media influence career without understanding the principles that I'm going to share with you here. Because as you can see by the hieroglyphics I have on screen, hopefully you can see the hieroglyphics I have on screen. There is a process and there is a cycle associated with being an artist. And when I use the word artist, I'm using it generically because you can substitute artist, you can pull that out and say entrepreneur, you can say doctor, you could say lawyer. Anything that you want to do is going to go through this process. Let's see, we have On Duty says hello. For whatever reason, the show is not coming up live on my screen here, and I don't honestly know why that's the case. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? Party people. Let's go to my channel and figure out why this isn't playing on my end, because I need to be able to see it playing on my end so I can make sure I keep up with your comments. So let's link to the show. Let's see what happens when I click on it. So let's hit play. And there we are. Okay, good. I actually am live. Excellent. So let me mute me. Let's mute me here and let's pull up the live chat if we can, if it'll allow it. No, see, it didn't pull it up in the app. It's being ridiculous. For whatever reason, it's still not coming up in the app. Either way, I can tell that it's working. That's good. That's good enough for me. If you guys are watching and can see me and hear me, just give me a shout out in the comment section. Let me know you can hear and see me. I'll try to get a little bit closer to the camera here. I am not broadcasting from my typical space in my office. I'm actually in the library here. It's a bit austere. I had originally intended to be broadcasting tonight from my office on the whiteboard. The reason why you're looking at hieroglyphics on my screen is because I decided to go a different direction. I'm actually spending time with a lot of family tonight. Many of you that keep up with me on social media are now. I haven't done the tribute video yet, but for those of you who watch me live, chances are you know the information I'm about to share with you here. Let me check one more time. So leave me a comment below, friends. Let me know if everything looks kosher on your end before I start talking for an hour and then realize, okay, so On Duty says, yeah, we can. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, On Duty. And thanks to everybody for being here. I'm actually broadcasting from the library in my parents' house because I'm spending time with my family this weekend. If you keep up with me on social media, let's see, CMR Studio says, I've got it working on my cell. Excellent. Those of you that keep up with me on social media, as I was saying, you saw yesterday that I posted pictures from my father's memorial service. So first, let me start by saying thank you to everybody for your thoughts, your prayers, your kind words on YouTube, on Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, you absolutely need to do that. There are things that I do there that I do not do here. For those of you that don't want to be on my mailing list because you don't want email, that's an alternative, excellent place to keep up with information. But my father passed a couple weeks ago. In fact, it was 2 weeks ago today when Dad passed. And many of you that keep up with me know that my father had suffered an almost fatal stroke right before Christmas. And then for the last several months, he's been suffering quite a bit. Not a lot. I didn't share a lot about it on my videos because it was not necessarily somewhat emotional. It just was something that I didn't want to talk a lot about. I wanted to stay focused on the mission. But Dad did eventually pass, and before anyone takes that as a very sad thing, while it's extremely sad that my dad is gone, it's extremely humbling, and I'm grateful that he's not suffering anymore, and that, you know, in my belief system, he has moved on to eternal life, and one day he and I will see each other again. So I say all that to say the reason why I'm not broadcasting from my office is because today is the day after the funeral, and I'm here with my family in basically the family's home base. And I was going to rush home and start broadcasting, but I didn't want to be separate. My kids wanted to hang out with their cousins, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why we're here in the library, somewhat austere conditions. And I just wanted to let you know that's why. That's also why you see the hieroglyphic picture on the screen instead of my whiteboard behind me. Because I'm going to use this illustration to really flesh out the core of what we're going to talk about tonight. Before we jump into it, I want to take you all through a brief exercise. In the comment section below, I would like for you to type in these words. I am a ninja. Okay. And just like I tell the people I coach, like I coach my sons and some older kids' basketball teams, the same thing I tell them, I'm going to tell you. I never have you do anything that lacks purpose. There's a reason why I want you to do it. In the comment section here tonight, I want you to type, I am a ninja. And as that starts to come in the comments, I'll begin to explain to you why we're doing that. And then we'll get into the heart of why I brought you here tonight. So the reason why we do exercises like that, first and foremost, a ninja is a person who does whatever it takes to accomplish the mission, to get done what it is they have been commissioned to do. In your case, because you're probably an artist, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're someone who is working to build the universe and the world in the fashion that you want to see it, you're not necessarily chasing a mission that someone else gave you. You are chasing the mission to shape the world in your own image. So a ninja is a person who does whatever it takes to get that done. And a ninja, by the way, is the person who overcomes this cycle that you see on the screen. As you can see, I've put everything on the screen for you to see here for the 4 stages, the 4 parts of the cycle. You can see it starts very good, and then it very quickly gets ugly and then bad at the end. My goal tonight is to help you understand how to avoid the bad, how to basically get out of this loop. And you're going to hear my family coming in and out here tonight, so you're welcome for the noise. But my goal tonight is to help you avoid the challenges that you're going to find in this loop, in this cycle, to avoid getting to the frustration and the I quit part of the cycle. All right, we want to get those out of the game completely. We want to replace them with the good stuff. And I'll tell you what that is a little bit later in the video once we've gone through what each of these pillars means. And so the reason why I want you to type I am a ninja is because I want you to make the mental connection that you are going to do whatever it takes to get to whatever you determine is success. I'm actually going to help you flesh that out tonight too as a part of this discussion, a little bonus for you. So ninjas do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever their mission is. They don't drag their feet and they always take action. Come on in, Steve. You cool? I'm just coaching. This is my brother, Steve. Say hello, everybody. My brother, Steve.
Hello, everybody.
What's happening, man? Did you need me?
No, I just
trying to get away from the noise.
Yeah.
I can dig it. Well, you're welcome to hang with us if you want.
Oh, I'm cool. Wait for the video.
Oh yeah. I feel you. But so the reason why we have you do that, the purpose here is a ninja, like I said, is a person who does whatever it takes to get the mission accomplished. Let me actually illustrate what that means for you. If you've ever seen the movie Azumi, now this is fiction, but it's rooted in reality. If you know what ninjas are in Japanese culture, these are the kings or the daimyo's assassins. I'm not trying to turn you into assassins that go out and harm people, but you have to understand as they go through their training in order to become a ninja, you get grouped into a small group, usually of orphans or of wards, kids that have been kidnapped as a part of war. And you're raised together by your sensei, by your master, teaching you all the arts that you need to know to become a warrior. At the end of he treats these children much like Sun Tzu would say, the best generals treat their children as their own young. And when they do that, their young are willing to follow them into death. That said, at the end of their training to become a ninja, it's usually even numbered groups. These 8 kids, let's say, have to fight each other to the death, meaning only 4 are going to survive. They pair up in groups of 2 and they fight to the death. 4 of them become ninjas, doing everything and anything it takes to win. Now, I'm obviously not advocating violence as a mean to get done what you need to get done. I'm not advocating killing people or assassinating people. I'm using that as a figurative metaphor to help you understand that in order to get what you want, you're going to have to deserve what you want, and you're going to have to be willing to put in work, sweat, and maybe even a little bit of figurative blood to get to where you want to go. If you're not willing to do that, I can guarantee you, you will run into steps 3 and steps 4 of this cycle more than once in your life. And then you'll get old and you'll start looking back wondering, man, what did I do wrong this entire time? Why are none of the things that I'm doing working? My job tonight is to at least equip you with the information to know how to avoid that fate. And in order to accomplish it, in order for you to succeed, you're going to have to think like a ninja, a person who's going to do whatever it takes within the confines of morality and ethics, of course. And included in that is taking care of the people that you are ultimately going to serve, because if you want to win, you're going to have other people supporting you, doing whatever it takes to support them so that you can win. What I find with most creators, most entrepreneurs, and this is not a criticism, this is just a human flaw, a human reality, is that they are ultimately selfish. I get people all the time, they'll say, I made all these videos, nobody's watching them. How do I go on Reddit and post all my videos? You do not. You don't do that, because that's not how empathy works. If you walked into my house right now, into my library, and I've never met you before, and you just walk in here with your phone and say, hey, I want you to check out these videos. I don't care how amazing your videos are. Do you think I'm going to pay you any mind? No, because I don't know you. We haven't built trust. I have no reason to think what you're going to show me is going to be amazing, even if that's what you tell me when you come in the door. In fact, I'm trying to figure out why you barged into my house in the first place. And that's what selfish people do. By the way, we're all selfish. We have to unlearn that selfishness. It's part of what we're going to do here tonight. Okay, so the reason why I have you type I am a ninja is because I want you to begin believing it. Most people, what keeps you from winning is you. It's not the audience, it's not the market, it's not your content, it's you. It's the mindsets that you've developed over the years, especially if you're a little bit older and you've had time to make mistakes and see some failure. You start to build up fear and resentments and blockages that keep you from believing that you're capable of winning. Why did PewDiePie deserve to have 50 million plus followers? Better way to ask that question is, why don't you deserve it? And the answer is, no one said you didn't. You believe you don't. Part of the problem with why people's channels or social media followings don't grow is because they don't believe they're worthy of the growth and they don't ask for it. And then they don't create content that makes people want to be a part of what you're doing because you lack confidence in yourself. You know, if you've read the books, The War of Art or Turning Pro, you've heard about the shadow life. This is the thing we pursue, which is kind of looks like our real dream, but it's safer and we don't care if we fail at it. That was me as a game reviewer. And while I loved my time reviewing games, I enjoyed it. It was still a shadow career because my real life was to be dedicated to improving the lives and coaching other people and developing leaders. Not going to develop too many leaders by doing just game reviews. Sometimes I still do them because it's fun and I want you to be a part of my life, but they're focused on the purpose of impacting somebody's life in a positive way. So we're going to help you avoid that. Let's see if we got some comments that come here. Pascal says, I literally can't work on things I find boring. Keeping focused then becomes a real job if that's the case. Good. I'm glad you said that. We're going to address that tonight. How do you unlearn selfishness? Is that even possible? Yes, you unlearn it by practicing selflessness. You deliberately go and do things that are selfless, and then anything you do for 66.7 days straight, I think, if you do something for 66.7 days straight, it becomes a habit. That's good or bad. That's smoking or drinking more water. You do it for. I drank a ton of water when I was in college every day after I had heat exhaustion from drinking too much soda. And it got to the point where I can't go through a day without drinking tons of water. It's habit now. I changed the habit. You change the habits of selfishness. Yeah, you're wired to be selfish, but you can unwire it by behavior. And that's what you have to do. Now then, Everybody has typed, I am a ninja. Hopefully you did type it. Like I said, I don't give you these excuses. I don't give you these exercises to be corny, like at a motivational speech or a church service where they're like, turn to your neighbor and say, boo. Like, that's not why I do this. I do it because I want you to hear yourself and feel yourself typing, I am a ninja, so that you get it in your mind. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win within the confines of morality, within the confines of ethics, within the confines of taking care of other people. Otherwise, I can guarantee you, you're going to reach the third part of this cycle and the fourth. And I guarantee you, if you don't make these adjustments, if you don't start adopting the mind of a ninja, and that's why I call my academy the Social Media Ninja Academy, because it's not the Social Media Growth Academy. It's not the Social Media How to Get a Million Subscribers Academy. All these things you've been told are important. That's people who are playing the short game. I'm playing for what people are going to say about me in 100 years. Does that mean I get to 50 million followers slower than PewDiePie? Probably, because I understand how human psychology, biology work. And I get that why what he does is more attractive, but that's cool. A lot of people don't like being unplugged from the matrix until they need to be. A lot of people don't like soldiers until you need a soldier to come protect you. Imagine that. So I'm playing the long game, and what I want to teach you all is how to play the long game, because ultimately, you play the long game, you're not only going to win, you're going to perpetually win, and you're going to win in a way that your kids are going to be able to win with you. My dad, before he passed, played the long game, 35 years of a career before he ever changed to do something else. And he became one of the best, fundamentally changed the way the military thought and worked, fundamentally changed the way the world thought and worked. There's books written about my dad. I don't brag about it a lot because I don't like to brag. But the fact of the matter is he stuck with something long enough to make it work. He played the long game. And when I went to his funeral yesterday and saw people like Colin Powell show up, people like General Solomon show up, friends of his, people that he mentored, a particular person he mentored, a good friend of our family named Joe that orchestrated the whole thing. When that stuff comes together, you know somebody's done something good to change the world. And when you look at his funeral, you can look around and say, yep, this was amazing. Do you think PewDiePie's funeral is going to be like that? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he will do something amazing with this following that he has. But if he stays on the current course he's on, by the way, I'm not criticizing him. I'm just telling you the reality. He stays on this current course, I can guarantee it's not going to be the case. So, that said, that's why we do this. Okay, I want you to start thinking. I want to eradicate fear. Part of my purpose on this earth is to destroy the fear that keeps you away from winning. Come on in, bro. You're good. So my cousin Aaron, you guys have seen Aaron on the channel. He's here to visit with us as well. You understand that you're going to have to work, sweat, bleed for this thing that you want. So if you're lazy, bounce. If you're looking for the short-term answer, how do I get you to 1 million subscribers in 6 months or less? Bounce. Because that's not valuable. That's not playing the long game. That's playing the short game. That's playing the I want to play video games in my underwear as my job game. And if that's you, I don't want to work with you. I want to work with people who fundamentally want to change the parts of this earth that aren't what they should be yet. Are we way better than we were in the Black Plague? Yep. But we still have stupidity like racism. We still have stupidity like sexism going on in the world. And until that's gone, I want to work with people who are going to do work, even if it is playing video games, making vlogs, or whatever it is, that want to change that. So I say again, type in the comment section, I am a ninja, because that's the mentality I want you to have. Otherwise, I guarantee you, third time I'm saying it, if I say something 3 times, it's important. I guarantee you, you're going to get to the 3rd phase of this cycle. You're going to get to the 4th phase. And heaven forbid, if you get to the 4th phase of this cycle, some of you won't get a second chance to go back to the beginning for many reasons. Now that we got that out of the way, let's see what Kimberly Kristen Experience says. I'm so sorry to hear about your father. I'm praying for you and your family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That blesses me. Kimberly says, I'm starting a life coaching business and I'm in the process of putting an ebook out soon. And you, milady, are in the right place and you're among the right people. It's very similar to what I do as part of my business. I'd very much like to talk with you tonight or even offline to see how I can help you get off the ground, especially as a person who's put out an ebook and lived through how challenging that can be. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. All right, so let's start. Now that I've given you preface, I've got you in the right frame of mind. Remember, ninjas do whatever it takes to win within the confines of morality, within the confines of ethics, and within the confines of taking care of other people. Ninjas take action. Ninjas do not drag their feet. Ninjas do not say, I'm going to start the diet on Monday. They don't say, I'm going to join this program that's going to help me be better at what I do tomorrow. They take action when opportunity presents itself. And that, my friends, is why they win. First phase of the artist, the entrepreneur, the businessman, the whatever blank you want to put in there. The first phase of the cycle, I call it excitement. You could also call it enthusiasm. This is where you've got an idea in your head. Let's use Kimberly as an example. I guarantee you, if she's just getting started, she is insanely enthusiastic about the people she thinks in her mind that she's going to be able to go help. She's excited about the idea and the thoughts behind what type of content can I make and how many people am I going to be able to help? Can I make YouTube content? Can I make Facebook content? Do I need a Twitter? And in her mind, she's imagining all these different things that she's going to do and the amount of people she's going to be able to reach and help and the amount of success that's going to come back to her as she continues to grow her project, her business, and her mission. She's excited. She's fired up. She can't wait to go out and start buying cameras. She can't wait to get the right microphones. She can't wait to figure out how to use Adobe Premiere to edit her videos. And I'm not picking on Kimberly, by the way. This applies to every one of us. I'm just using her as an example because she just happened to speak up about what she's doing. She can't wait to start making connections with the people she's going to make videos for. She can't wait. The imagination has you excited. It's like getting ready for Christmas. The anticipation is building. I can't wait to get into this thing that has me so fired up to go out and change the world. This is a beautiful place to be. It's a wonderful place to be because in the excitement part of the artist's life cycle, everything's positive. Everything, you know the phrase I like to use, everything is unicorns and rainbows, right? Everything is, this is how we're going to win. This is how I'm going to get to 1 million subscribers. This is how I'm going to get so many people to follow me on Facebook and connect with me. This is my plan for putting out content. This is the type of content that I'm going to make. Everything in the excitement phase is positive, but there's a pitfall in the excitement phase. Because in the excitement phase, we are all prone, not picking on Kimberly, not picking on you, this includes me. We are all prone to some form of delusion, believing that this thing that we're going to do is going to be so amazing and so sustaining, and hopefully you don't have the delusion that it's going to be easy. Because I'm here to tell you, I don't care what all the freaking huckster marketers on the internet tell you about. I've got this easy class to show you how to do Facebook ads. Facebook ads aren't easy. There is no easy class to do Facebook ads. Now, there is an easier way to do them, but in order to get good at them, you got to put in the work. There's no easy way to be as good as Michael Jordan or LeBron James at basketball. It's not easy. It takes years and years of work to get good like that. So what we need to do is maintain the excitement. I don't want to quell that. I don't want to stop that because that excitement is what's going to be your launch pad to get you going where you want to go if I can get you focused in the right direction. And that's where the pitfall in excitement lies. If you have chosen to go in a direction that is not sustainable, and I'll give you a couple categories for sustainability. If you are picking to do something that's not sustainable, you have to know that much like a marriage, much like a dating relationship, much like a new job, much like anything you do, this excitement is going to wear off. It's just the nature of our humanity. The excitement's going to wear off. And if you're going in the wrong direction when that excitement wears off, you are not going to have what you need to keep pushing you when you get into the second phase of the life cycle. And heaven forbid if you get into the third phase of the life cycle. If you get into the third phase of the life cycle, that's where it's very hard to turn around. So what I need to do is make sure that we've got you focused in the right direction before you ever get out of excitement. So before you go out and buy the microphone and go out and buy the camera and go out and learn all the stuff about Adobe Premiere and go out and learn with all the people you're going to network with and market with and get your Reddit account set up and your Twitter account and your Pinterest and your Instagram, before you go do all that, you need to have a plan for how you're going to execute your strategy, the thing it is you're trying to accomplish. But more importantly than a plan, you need to make sure that the thing you are trying to do, one, suits your skill set. Two, is something that you actually enjoy doing. Something that you would enjoy doing. And this is my litmus test. Would you enjoy If this was the thing you had to do for the rest of your life, would you do it? If you could choose one thing to do for the rest of your life, would you do it? If the answer is no, that's okay, because I don't expect Bill Gates didn't do the same thing for his entire life. He does very different things now than when he started his career. But if this is the thing you would do for the rest of your life, then you know you're going in a good direction. Come back off of the life, because that could be a little bit too extreme for most. Is this something you would be willing to do for the next 15 years? If the answer is no, then you have a problem. Because first of all, it's going to take you 10 years to get amazing at it. And then the next 5 years are where you're going to see the bulk of your success, unless you get lucky. That goes back to the delusion. Most people come to this platform, a lot of people that I work with, and they see the people who have become successful, but they don't understand that YouTube worked a lot like a pyramid scheme or a network marketing program, like Amway, right? They didn't see the fact that the people who started winning early were the people who were just here. They were here first, and they had a buzz going first, and they were putting in the work. It wasn't just that they were here, but they got here before you. And so you're thinking you're going to have the same success as them by putting in the same level of effort. It's not really true, because they had a head start. Anybody that gets into a network marketing program, they get in at the top. And then when other people start to trickle in, people at the top are always making more money than the people who are getting in at the end. Okay? So you need to make sure that you're doing something that you would be willing to do. Now, I'm not saying it's going to take you 15 years to get to a level of success. What I'm saying is you need to do something that you would be willing to do for 15 years, because that will keep you in the game. Because trust me, you're going to hit the wall of frustration, cycle number 3, way before 15 years. In fact, I'd be shocked if you don't hit it before 6 months. But again, I said my goal here tonight is to help you avoid that fate. And this is how we avoid it. 1, you pick something that you are naturally good at. Look around you. Jesus' daddy was a carpenter. No mystery that Jesus was a carpenter. What'd your daddy do? Or the person that raised you, or your mom? What do strangers tell you you're good at? What have you been doing for the last 10 years? You've built skills in that arena. So you want to pick something that you're naturally good at. A lot of people will tell me, I want to be a YouTuber, but I'm terrible on camera, like really, really bad, and I'm not interesting. I was like, well, then I don't think you want to be a YouTuber. I think what you want to do is express yourself. At the end of the day, take YouTube and Twitter, take all the labels off. What all of us want to do as human beings is express ourselves. We have to pick the platform that helps us express ourselves in a way that we are very capable of. Meaning, if you suck on camera, but you're a good writer, perhaps having a blog or freelance writing is something that is more sustainable for you. Sorry, I'm looking out I see people walking out my window here, and it's actually my mom, and she's waving goodbye to people outside. So we have like a ton of people in the house tonight. So going back to what I was saying, the picking something that you're good at. If you're terrible on camera, can you take lessons to get better? Yeah, but if you suck at it, why would you? Like, if you are an amazing copywriter, do you know how much copywriters can get paid to help sales and marketing teams sell things? If you don't want to sell things, maybe you write for yourself and you put a blog together that tells gripping and engaging stories that people want to read. You're still expressing yourself, you're just not doing it on camera. Or maybe you have an amazing voice, but you're shy on camera. Well, then do a podcast, right? So it's about picking the platform that best suits your skill set. But let's assume, because you're here on YouTube, let's assume that that's not you. Let's assume that you're great on camera, but now you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I create? Well, what are you good at? And then what do you like? I mean, you can't pick something that you hate, even if it suits your skill set, because that's a win-lose. Like, you're good at this thing, you're good at talking on camera, but you're talking about something that you hate talking about just because people will watch it. Well, that's a win-lose. What you want to have is a win-win. So the excitement phase is an amazing place to be. I want you to be there. I want you to be fired up. The ninjas that I bring into, and I'll share with you before the show is over. I'll give you access to my social media ninja academy for those of you that will want to join, as I'm sure there'll be plenty of you. I want them to come fired up and hungry. And because the one thing I will not abide in my programs or working with people at all, I was told by a mentor once upon a time, you never, ever help people that are cheap about looking for help. And that's not just a money thing. That's a laziness thing too. Like if you come to me as a trainer, like I train people physically, and they're like everything about my life is training other people. It's what I am. And so I also train people physically in the gym, sometimes running, doing things like that. And some people will come to me, they've got some ideas about their fitness. The first thing I'll tell them is I cannot, like if so different people have different goals. But for my people that want to lose weight, they'll come to me and say, I'm doing this and this and this. The first thing I'll tell a person that wants to lose weight or get smaller or get cut up, I cannot help you outwork a bad diet. No amount of beating you up and down this street or up this hill or with these weights is going to get rid of that belly if you will not commit to eating properly. I worked with a girl who liked to drink, not excessively. She just liked to have fun. And she's like, am I going to have to stop drinking? I said, well, no, you're not going to have to stop, but I don't know how much you drink. You're probably going to have to cut back. Like if you're doing it every weekend and you're trying to stay in shape, unless you have amazing genes, you're probably going to have to cut that back a little bit. Or you're going to have to work an insane amount because, alcohol is a complex sugar and it has a ton of calories in it. So the point here is you don't want to be focusing on a thing that you're not good at. And I want people to come fired up. And I want people to come that I will not work with someone who's lazy. Someone that asks me questions that they could have just Googled. Nope. I won't work with you because that is me doing a disservice to the people who are paying me to help them, who are grinding every day and coming to me with really good questions. Right. And I'm not saying that to scare people away, or maybe I am, but it's more just to fire you up, to take. I do this with my kids all the time. My son will come say, Dad, what was the second Call of Duty game made? Go look that up. Why are you being lazy? What was the sixth Call of Duty game that was made? Google sixth Call of Duty. It'll come up on screen. Stop being lazy. Right? So I want people excited. I want people fired up. I'm not trying to kill that. What I'm trying to help you avoid is allowing the excitement to blind you into just jumping headfirst into action that's going to lead you to cycle number 3 and cycle number 4 before it's all said and done. Let me stop and take some comments here. So Pascal says, I want to be a game designer. I took a job that taught me programming, started making a game, and the thing that kept me going was setting the goal and fixing all the problems. Yeah, there you go. It's good. So that's a good example. So Pascal just posted in the comments, if you're looking, a good example of he had a vision, had a dream. That's a part of the excitement phase. And then he set out to accomplish that dream. And when things got hard, he started to focus on what would keep him in the game. And that's really at the heart of what we're talking about tonight. So excitement. I love it. I want it. I want you to be fired up. I want you to be motivated. I want you to not be lazy. But I don't want your excitement to blind you to the pitfalls, which are delusionally thinking that this is going to be easy, or picking a thing as and so the key pitfall in the excitement phase is being an opportunist. Can't tell you how many people send me messages saying, yo, B, I want to make some fast cash, man. I want to make some YouTube videos. I'm going to post Return of the Jedi, and I'm going to post all these movies. I'm going to post live football games. Like, why are you talking to me? That's a person who's trying to be an opportunist. You're trying to use a platform to just give you money. You're not trying to serve an audience. You're not trying to make the world a better place. You just want to increase your bank account. It's completely selfish. It's completely lazy. And it's completely playing the short game. And by the way, it never works. It never works. Not long term. There's people all over YouTube posting stuff they shouldn't be. Trust me, YouTube's going to get it. All these Louis C.K. videos I see, which I'm kind of happy because I get to hear stuff that I wouldn't get to hear otherwise. But it'll be gone. Well, it may not be gone because Louis may not take action knowing the type of guy he is. But were he a different guy, trust me, YouTube would catch it and those people would be out of business. Then what? They made $10,000 and their YouTube account is crushed. Unless they try to finagle. And YouTube's very good at sniffing out people trying to create accounts who've been banned. So you got to think with the long game in mind and don't come to YouTube as an opportunist. What's the thing I could do that could get me the fastest following that could then bring me the most amount of money with the least amount of work. Look, I'm all for efficiency, minimizing your output and minimizing your input while optimizing your output. That's smart, but not if you're doing it like an opportunist, where there's no empathy for the people who've got to consume the people who have to consume your product, which is your content. And you're the product on YouTube. That's what's called YouTube. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. The first phase is excitement, and we want to avoid the pitfall of becoming an opportunist. And we do that, not just going to leave you hanging, we do that by understanding our skill set, understanding what it is defining what we want to accomplish on YouTube, making sure our skill set supports that, making sure the things we like to do support that vision, and then making sure that it's something that we'd be willing to stick with for the long haul. I say at least 15 years. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to keep doing it for 15 years. It just means that you have a mindset that is, I love doing this so much that if it takes me 15 years, I'd keep doing it. Funny thing is, the people who are willing to do it for 15 years usually never have to do it that long. Michael Jordan said he would have played basketball even if he wasn't getting paid. That's what I mean. So that's what you have to do to avoid the pitfalls. Because what happens is when you fall into the pitfalls of the first phase, the excitement phase, you immediately land in frustration. Because it doesn't take a whole lot of grinding, phase two, doesn't take a whole lot of grinding before you get to frustration, because you're not going to see these quick results. You're not going to get 1 million followers in a year like some people are able to do. But let's be clear. A lot of people who are able to do that are capable of creating viral content. You may be in a position where you don't have something that makes you viral. So take a Tai Lopez, for example, if you've seen his stuff on YouTube. He was able to post a viral video using a Lamborghini. How many of you can afford a Lamborghini? Not many. Now, many will argue, and they'd be right, that it wasn't just the Lamborghini that made that video viral. In fact, he taught me and other people a class on exactly how he did the video to make it viral. But he has material in the video that you may not have access to. And virality is king on YouTube. If you're able to build virality and then to follow that up with stuff that people want to stick around for, that's the fast growth method. But most of us can't. There's nothing really viral about Morpheus here trying to unplug people from the Matrix. In fact, most people fight against Morpheus because the things he's saying hurt. He's leading with pain, as Tai Lopez would say. Screw it. I'm a freaking stoic. I come from being a warrior. You don't join the army and they lead with cupcakes. And that's the type of people I attract. So I don't attract, like Tai will attract the cupcake people. And that's not wrong. That's actually smart. Because if you've been in Ty's programs, he gives you the cupcakes and then he pulls you in and just starts like, oh, Jesus, this dude isn't playing around. Now, arguably, I guess the military does cupcakes too because they're recruiters. But I do lead with the reward. Like, hey, I want to help you build a life that you're happy with, right? But a lot of what I'm saying is hard work and they're like things that make people, ugh. Like when I tell someone that wants to come work out with me, I can't help you outwork a bad diet. Now, are most people going to follow the guy that's like, I can't work with you if you won't get your diet right? Or I'll work with you, just don't expect to be successful. Or they're going to follow the shortcut guy on the internet or TV that's saying, hey, all you got to do is ab work for 5 minutes a day and I can eat cake and sushi and still be skinny. Who do you think they're going to listen to? The second guy, because the second guy is easier. He doesn't play on the parts of the brain that make you resist. That's cool. I'm playing the long game. Will it take me longer to get followers than that guy? Yep. But I'll be okay with that because I'll be happy with the content that I'm making. But that's the decision you have to make. Maybe you like being the cupcake person. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not criticizing it. It works. But you have to know. You have to know that that's what works for you. So we avoid the excitement traps by understanding ourselves, understanding the thing we want to accomplish, and knowing that we have the skill, the desire, and the passion to actually do that thing long term. The beauty is if you're willing to do it long term, you're going to work very hard at it, be very happy. It's not going to feel very long, and frankly, you're going to get good faster. It's not going to take you 15 years. But I want you to do something that you'd be willing to do for 15. I mean, YouTube might not be around 15 years. And you have to move it to another platform. But the platform doesn't matter. That's why I always tell people there's no such thing as a YouTuber. There are media people who are using YouTube as the platform to have their discussion and tell their story. Okay, so that's how we avoid the pitfall of the excitement part of the life cycle. The grinding. This is the part that crushes most people because you come out of excitement, you get the microphone, you get the camera, you get the the endorphins start to wear off, the things that are making you happy, the dopamine starts to come down in your brain a little bit. You know, the romantic idea of how easy and fun this is going to be starts to wear off because now you actually have to sit down and do the work. You've got to go outside and film 16 videos to stack and batch record so that you can have something ready for 2 weeks worth of content, right? You got to stay up late tonight doing a live coaching call because you want to help people. All right, this is the work. The second phase, the second part of the artist life cycle is the work part of the life cycle. It's where you take the dreams, you take the excitement, you take the enthusiasm, and you turn it into input, work, the grinding. You're not going to get out, you're not going to get successful without the grind. You got to learn to love it. You know, I think a lot of people probably saw that I wrote grinding here and may have thought that that was a negative part of this cycle. It's not. That is where you are going to spend the bulk of your time, especially in the beginning. Now, you may get to a point where you start to get that exponential success where more and more people are just coming based off the work you've already done. So you don't have to work as hard, but you're never going to escape the grind if you want to continue to improve and continue to build upon your success. You're going to have to be willing to do that. And what gets most people here is, and it's funny, I put frustration as the third. That's actually wrong. So I need to make a correction here on this picture. But you know what? Frustration is actually right. I want to add something to it. But that grind kills most people because this is going back to the workout analogy. I work out with a person for a month and they're expecting to have six-pack abs. Why? It didn't take you a month to not have six-pack abs. What makes you think any level of work I'm going to do with you is going to give you six-pack abs? And the deceptive part of working out is what people don't understand about the body is what you can see takes more time. It doesn't develop overnight. So those cakes and cookies you ate 3 weeks ago will show up 3 weeks later. They're not going to show up tomorrow. So you're going to eat those cakes and cookies. You know, you're going to wake up tomorrow. Oh, I'm still in good shape. 3 weeks later, the cakes and cookies show up like, oh, wait a minute. Where did this come from? Right? The same thing works going the other direction. You're going to put in work and put in work. I can't tell you how many hundreds of people have emailed me and said, dude, I've been putting out videos for 75 years and I'm just not getting more than 1,000 views. I'm like, first of all, 1,000 views is the average for Gold's Gym. So an internationally recognized brand, you're matching what they're doing if you're getting 1,000 views of videos. So stop complaining, first of all. Secondly, welcome. You know, in the book, Do the Work, there's a chapter called Welcome to Hell. The grind is hell, but you need to twist your mind into loving the grind. Like I have trained my mind to love the pain of my workouts. Now, to most people who haven't been unplugged from the matrix, that's going to sound insane. And it is when you first get started. There have been times in the gym on arm day where I have worked myself to the point of exhaustion to where I finished a set and almost vomited. It was the happiest moment that day. I was so elated that I pushed myself so hard. Most people will get to that point and be like, I'm never working out with this guy again. But they won't get the results that I'll get. Will it take me a while to get the results? Yes. But I keep putting in workouts like that. I'm going to get them a lot faster than the person who's being casual. Now, I'm not saying you need to work yourself into exhaustion or vomiting or sickness. That's not the point. The point is you have to learn, you have to train your mind because it's not wired to. You have to train your mind to love the grind. You have to train your mind to love the grind. I didn't intend for that to rhyme, but it did. You have to train your mind to love the grind because the grind, the second phase is where you're going to live for a long time. It's work. It's not easy. And this dream that you had of, I'm going to put out all this content, and the other delusion in the excitement phase is people are just going to love what I'm doing. They're not. Because first of all, when you first start working, it's not going to be as good as you envision it in your mind because it takes time to develop. Now, I am a great, I'd say, public speaker. I was not great on camera when I first started. This took practice. to get comfortable talking into a hole on my laptop versus talking to a group of people. And what's weird is most people would love it the other way around. Like they hate talking in front of people and would love to just be in an office where they can talk to a computer. I don't like it. Like I spoke at my dad's funeral yesterday to a room of, I don't know how many people, there's a lot of people there. And I love that. I love the energy of being around people. But that takes time to develop. You have to learn how to love the grind. You have to learn to become good. And then as you get better, more and more people will be attracted to what you do. And it takes time for people to build trust. This is the other thing a lot of creators don't understand. Even if you make something great, you're not a trustworthy source yet. If you're selling this, you're not selling, you're telling me about this thing that's going to improve my life. Well, I don't know you. So, like, if your mother told you that, you'd be more inclined to listen to it than if some stranger came off the street. It's like, hey, I'm going to give you this thing that's going to improve your life. Well, how do you know, stranger? You don't know anything about me. But I keep making content after about 7, 8 times of him hearing the same thing, him or her hearing the same thing, and then it resonating, and then maybe even going and trying. Like, this guy was right. This dude was 100% right. I should have listened to him in the beginning. That takes time. Just like subscribers. People think someone's going to see one video from you and subscribe. It's wrong. They're probably going to see about 7 before they actually subscribe, unless you just do something that's so amazing that they're like, yes, this is the video. But how often do you make those, especially if you're making daily content? So you got to learn to love the grind. You have to make sure the excitement phase, avoid the pitfall of getting going in the wrong direction because you're blinded by excitement. In the grinding phase, you have to learn to fall in love with the grind, because usually what's going to happen with a creator, they're going to go from excitement, they're going to get into the grind, and they're going to hit the grind running. And as you grind, the excitement is going to slowly start to wear off, and then it's just the grind. And there's no excitement. There's not no excitement, but the excitement enthusiasm is diminished. If you learn to love the grind, I learned to love, like I did hill sprints today on a hill that I hate. And I got to the last, I do 10 of them, and they're long and hard and whatever. And then I run home after that. And I got to that 10th one and I was sucking wind so hard, but it was happy. I was like, oh, I love this feeling. I love it because I know change is happening. And I know I'm going to look back in a couple of weeks. I'm going to see the changes and the cuts happening in my body, and I'm going to be healthier and feel better and sleep better. All these, and so in my mind, I'm thinking about the benefits of this pain instead of just focusing on the pain. And so you have to think about the long game. You have to think, okay, in 3 years of me, if I continue this grind for 3 years, like if I'm here today, let's say I started and I went from 0 to 100 subscribers in a month. That's actually pretty amazing for most people. For some people, they're going to look, the problem is you're going to look at other people and be like, well, how does he have 50 million? I only have 100. That's the wrong thing to do. You need to look at you and look at where you're going and look at your goals and say, well, if I keep doing this, like in a year, if this took me a month, in a year, if I keep improving, theoretically, I can do 12 plus times this. Right? I can do 1,200 or more because I'll improve as I continue to work. And in 3 years, I can probably 10x that. I could probably be at 120,000. Or maybe it takes a year, maybe it takes 2 years. It just depends. A lot of it depends on the growth, depends on the type of content that you're making. And is YouTube the right platform for the type of content that you want to make? And you have to add to that. Is YouTube the right platform for the content you want to make and the results that you want to get? You have to ask both questions, because anything will work on YouTube, but not everything will draw a huge audience. What I create draws an older crowd. YouTube favors the people in a lot of cases that go after the younger folks. Ty Lopez would tell you that. A huge amount of his following, he gets people that are older and even elderly that follow him, but a lot of his following is young people. YouTube is for the young. So not to say that you can't make older content and succeed, but just don't expect to get the results that someone who's focused on making programs for my kids is going to have more opportunities to win than someone like me who's making something that people search for every once in a while. So those are the things you have to understand, because it helps you properly set expectations, which is another pitfall in the grinding phase, setting unrealistic expectations. You're just going to put out all these videos and be famous overnight. It's a delusion. And it's because you're looking at other people who are winning and thinking, well, they were able to do it. Yeah. but they were here first and they got lucky at some point and they capitalized on that luck. And by the way, they put in a ton of work before they got lucky. You've made 4 videos. Okay. So we have to avoid that. Let's take some comments here before we move into the next one. So Kimberly says, I want to be a health and wellness life coach, but I'm trying to figure out what area to focus on. I am kind of all over the place right now. Now I need help with honing in. God, I would love, Kimberly, to have you in our program because that I spend so much time dealing with that exact issue in the first couple of belts. I have so many lessons, especially for our VIPs, our gold belt members. I focus so much attention on helping you figure that out. Like, matter of fact, on one of our gold belt VIP live calls, because for our VIPs, I do live calls, not like this where I'm just talking and you're commenting. We're actually talking. I spend an hour with 10 other people in the room going through. It's actually the designer at our company, but he's a part of our program. Spend an hour walking him through his dream and then helping shoot holes in the part that needed holes shot in it, but helping him see, isn't this what you really want, dude? Not telling him, but saying, what I'm hearing is this, and you're doing this. Isn't this what you really want? Isn't this the thing, bro? And he stopped. He's like, dude, that's exactly right. I said, well, let's get busy. Stop doing the other stuff and get on this. And he did, and he started to see some success in it, and it took him back. And that's the beautiful thing is this cycle is a cycle. You will come back to excitement if you do it right. You can avoid, you're never going to avoid frustration completely. It's going to be a part of it, but we can minimize frustration. And we can totally avoid the I quit phase. We can turn this into a 2-phase cycle, okay? Or a 3-phase cycle where we can replace frustration with something else that I'll share with you here in a little while. But yeah, Kimberly, that's something that we spend a ton of time working on because what I want, and the funny thing is I've actually helped people I've worked myself out of a job. Like I've had people come into our program and I've worked with them and coached them and talked to them on live calls and on emails. And they're like, after listening to you talk, YouTube's not where I should be. So I'm going to quit your academy, which is cool. I wasn't upset. I was like, good. Because even though the academy would still help you with where you're going, I get why you want to quit. And I was excited for them because being in the academy helped them understand, oh, snap, this is not where I need to be. And I love that. Do I lose money? Yep. But do I gain the pleasure and the excitement of helping a person get to their dream? I'd lose money 10 times out of 10 to make that happen. Right? So anyway, if you're all over the place, one of the tips I'll give you without having to be in the program, let me just give you some value for free, is really, really, really hone in on a couple of things. One, what are you really, really good at? Okay. Wellness coaching can cover so many different things, but where is the area where you are particularly skilled? And I mean better than what is the area where you are better? And hopefully that area is also the one you like more than the other areas. Because remember the 15-year principle. And guys, you can plug whatever number into that you want. I use 15 because I believe it takes 10 years to get really good at something. So 15 is that buffer. Make it 8 years. I don't care what you make it, but make it 100 years. That's the way I look at it. I'm playing this game for 100 years if I live that long, God willing. So really you need to hone in on what do you really like in the wellness arena? What are you really good at in the wellness arena? And look at your then the third piece is look at your competition, figure out which one are they not doing. And then find, like, if you drew what's that thing called, the Venn diagram, where all 3 of those kind of meet, like you write, these are the ones I really like, these are the ones I'm really, really good at. And then here are the ones where nobody else is competing. And then where all 3 converge, that's probably where you should focus. An example I'll give you from a mentor of mine. I was in a live session, not online. I was physically with him in a room full of about 50 or 100 other people. And he was just coaching on getting our businesses started. And, I was in the same boat. I was a life strategies coach. That was my focus. But I also run a marketing agency, which is a part of my entire brand. And he was talking about, and it was a seminar on public speaking because I public speak, but I wanted to start building that into my business so that I could get paid to do bigger events. And he started talking about nobody can sell, he says it's very hard to sell life coaching. He was talking about. And he says, just because that, so he's like, that's why you should call it life strategy coaching. He's like, you need to be more specific and help people understand what you're really coaching about their lives. He's like, because life coaching is kind of generic. He's like, you want to talk about, and I was like, he's like, the only person that can sell life coaching, just blank check, is Tony Robbins. And so I raised my hands and I said, what if my vision, and this is true, I was like, what if my vision is to be the next Tony Robbins? He looked at me and I thought he was going to clown me because he's that type of dude. Like he'll embarrass you if you ask a stupid question in one of his courses. And I thought he was going to try to embarrass. I don't embarrass easy. So when he picks on me, it's like, it's fine. It's whatever. I thought he was going to pick on me. He turned around and looked at me. He goes, go to Tony Robbins' website now. Look up everything he's doing. Find the one he's not doing that you're good at. Start doing it. That led to my marriage experience program. So I started focusing as a life strategies coach. On YouTube, I kind of do a smorgasbord, right? I do coaching for combat veterans because that's what I am. I do coaching for career because I've developed people's careers for my entire career. And then I focus on love and relationships because I built a very successful relationship. But when I launched a product, I focused on marriage because Tony didn't have a huge focus on that. It's not to say that he doesn't do it because he does, but that's not where he was focused. And that's an area where I'm not going to fight a juggernaut head on. I'm going to come in the back door and chip away at the thing he's not doing and then establish myself as this guy. Will he be bigger than me? Sure, but then I'll have my own niche that I can have access to. So that's if you're all over the place, that's kind of the very short version, free tip I'd give you. And hopefully there's some value in there for you. But trust me, the other thing I want to encourage you with, just as a fourth bonus thing, is that that's everybody. We're all. I'm getting ready to shoot a video for my YouTube channel called "We're All Winging," like BTW. We're all winging it because we are. We're all trying things to see what sticks. No entrepreneur is just like, here's the exact plan I'm going to do. It's like Jeff Bezos started selling books first. And I guarantee you, the type of person he is, if books didn't work, he would have just done something else. Unfortunately for him, it did work. But books wasn't his vision. His vision was to take over retail. They just bought Whole Foods. It's a food distribution company for them now. They're going to be droning steaks and milk to your house. That was his vision. But he started with something small and experimented. Make sense? So that's the thing you have to really think about is you want to make sure that one, it's something that you're good at, it's something that you like, it's something that your competitors aren't already killing at. Be willing to experiment. Try some things out, and don't think that you have to have everything figured out. I was telling people that Colin Powell was at my dad's funeral yesterday, and Colin Powell is known for saying, 40% of the information is enough to go to war with. Let's go. It's enough information to start. It's not enough information to win necessarily, but it's enough information to get started, to start executing and experimenting with some things to see what sticks. So don't try to predict or play God. Experiment and let God speak to you through the results is kind of my philosophy on that. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit. I know I derailed our talk to help you, but that's what we do here. Settlement says, just like RPGs, the grind is where you gain experience. Absolutely. Kimberly says, I've been on YouTube a little less than a year, and I've done about 80 videos. That's sweet. Good. That means you're consistent, and that's a huge part of the YouTube equation. MMA God says, thanks a lot. Takes a lot of time and hard work. It's very worth it. Pascal says, you think big companies can compete against YouTube exclusives? Flesh that question out. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Rockmo says, these are great juices, man. Yeah, I don't know what juices are, but it's great. I appreciate it. Victor, the arcade pilot, says, in NYC, I like to be as entrepreneurial minded as some of my friends. There you go. Sweet. Pascal says, I think you have to make your mistakes quickly. Yes, speed is everything, guys. The day where, even like the musicians that I work with, they're like, yeah, I'm going to put out this song and I'm waiting because no, stop waiting. Put the song out. You don't get to pick what your hits are. Like when I put out my album years ago and then deleted it from the internet because it sucked as a musician, all the songs I thought were dope were the ones nobody paid attention to, except for one. One was just universally dope. But some of the songs, like one of my boys, like, this is my favorite song you do. I'm like, this is your favorite song? Like, what? I thought that song was whack, but I'm glad somebody liked it. Let's see. Kimberly says, so true. Pascal says, since I'm not BC, I have to break the pain into chunks. One time I got to 100 push-ups in one go, but I had to start out doing 10 until that got easy because 100. No. That's the same for everybody, brother. Same. You got to break it down into chunks. 100%. The chunks for you and me might be different, but trust me, you have to break pain down. I could not go out and do 1,000 hill sprints. I would die doing that, right? You break it up. Absolutely. That's 100% right. See, Kimberly says, thank you. Oh, it's my pleasure, Kimberly. I really hope that was very helpful for you. Stay tuned. I'm going to give people access to our academy. In fact, if you wanted to cheat, the link is actually in the description right now. If you guys want to check out the academy while you're listening to me talk and get some information about it and then come back with questions at the end when we do Q&A, you can do that too. Pascal says, we're all winging it. Dang, he kept it real. This is the truth, man. No successful person is going to tell you, yes, this is exactly how I knew it was going to go in my brain. They tried things, and when things didn't work, they adjusted, fired. That happens in war. That happens in, like, here's the beautiful thing. War is such a great analogy for business because you make a plan and you map out everything in this plan. It's what we're going to do, what our intent is, what we expect to have happen, and here's what we think the enemy's going to do. And then you go to do it, and then none of it happens. But what you then rely on is your skills. You have been taught that no matter what happens, if the plan goes to complete just oblivion, which it does almost every time, you just adjust. And then you rely on your skills to get you out of a bad situation and create a tactical advantage. That's it. That's it. We're all winging it. We're winging it in war. Like, yes, you're making a plan. You're sticking to your plan as best you can. But when something doesn't work, when I did Throwback Thursdays, the video game show that I thought was just going to kill like gangbusters, until I realized that most of the YouTube audience grew up in the Nintendo 64 generation and not in the NES generation, guess whose show was never getting any views? This guy's shows, because I had what I thought was a great idea that the market says, no, we don't care. By the way, in retro game sales, the Nintendo 64 is what kills. So for any of you that are watching me that are gamers, you want to start a Nintendo 64 channel, might not be such a bad idea. But the point is, you can't fall in love with your ideas. I'm not completely winging it that I have a plan for what I'm doing here. Yes, but I 100% I guarantee you, in my original plan, it did not include making 57 INFP personality type videos. But what the market told me was, we love this. Please keep doing it because it's helping us. Then I go into a win-win. Was it my intent to make 50 INFP videos? No, but the market demanded it and wanted it and requested it. And they're telling me, they're giving me the feedback that it's actually helping. Well, my goal is to help people. How I help people is not really all that important to me, within reason. So I keep making the content because is it getting me growth? Yes, but more importantly, it's helping people, which is why I'm here. Was that my original plan? No. No, I added a personality type video just for fun because I love studying and discussing personality types. It's a hobby. It's a joy. I did it for fun and it just blew up. I was like, okay, well, that worked. Let's keep doing that. So we now have a personality type section of my channel. When I first started off, it was going to be straight up videos, like one of my favorite videos that sucks. It was a video that I thought was great, and the market was like, nope. I did a video called "The Media is Controlling You." It's such a dope video dealing with psychology and biology. It's not like an Illuminati conspiracy theory thing. It's understanding human biology and psychology and how the media and marketers prey on that. And the reason why I teach you all the tricks that marketers are using to prey on your brain is because I want you to be immune to that nonsense, and I want you to hear the marketers who are actually trying to help you. So when you hear CNN telling you this horribly scary story to get your testosterone up men before they sell you Viagra, now you know it's coming, right? Did that video do well? Nope. Did I keep making that video? Yep, because I enjoy it, but I control my expectations. I still make videos like that, but I also find ways to weave it into something that the market wants to see. So I find that balance, that win-win. But remember, the grind is your life. Phase 2 is where you're going to spend your life. Whether it's on YouTube or it's Facebook, it's Instagram, doesn't matter. Phase 2, the grind, you need to learn how to fall in love with it. And let me help you, because That's going to sound scary, but it doesn't have to be. Make it an easy way to fall in love with the grind, one day at a time, one video at a time, one idea at a time. Don't try to love doing curls in the gym until you vomit. Don't try to love that the first day. I see trainers that get people, or I in the training world, I watch people train people. Like the first, like this girl will come in to train with a guy that I know for the first time, and he beats her half to death in the weight room. I'm like, dude, she's never coming back. Why would you do that to her? He's like, well, I'm trying to get her in shape. I said, I get that. What you don't understand is she's not at that level yet mentally. Physically, she was fully capable of everything you just did. But she wasn't mentally there. You just terrified her and you built up all this cortisol in her brain. And now she's going to associate you with pain instead of associating you with progress. And that's what you want. You want the progression. So I'm not going to I would never, and it's funny because I get people that train with me for the first time and they're scared because they've heard about how I train. And I tell them, no. I am not going to train you like me. Our goals might be different. But more importantly, you're not at my level. I adjust all the training to the ability level of the person in my program. It would be stupid for me to think you're going to come do 20 sets of pull-ups and dumbbell rows and all this stuff, and then go outside and run a mile's worth of sprints. It would be absolutely ridiculous for me to think that you, as a person who's never worked out, you may physically be able to do it. You'll never come work out with me again. So as you're learning to fall in love with the grind, do it little by little. And that's why it's so important that you're going in the right direction. That's why it's so important that you're doing something you're good at. That's why it's so important that you're doing something that you enjoy and like doing. Does it make sense, my friends? Good. Glad it does. Let's take some more comments here before we move into phase 3, frustration. Pascal says, do you think Gold's Gym can compete with exclusive YouTubers like, yeah, so I sent Gold's Gym an audit of their YouTube channel from my marketing business and told them, I sent them a case study. If you go to clientsincoming.com and go to my blog, I wrote an article about why Elliot and people like Jeff Cavalier are winning, where Gold's Gym is not. And I sent Gold's Gym an audit and said, look, guys, I would love to work with you because there's no reason on God's earth why some local Virginia marketing agency has more subscribers on YouTube than you do. There's no excuse for that. I mean, Elliot having more subscribers than you, I can live with because Elliot spent years grinding and building that brand. Gold's Gym is an internationally recognized brand. It just is. There's no excuse for them having 10,000 subscribers. If I was an internationally recognized brand, I would be competing with PewDiePie. Mark my words, because I know how to do it. I know how to get people to pay attention to what I'm doing, and I know how to get it in front of them, and I know what the people want. You look at Gold's Gym's content, and it's like, oh, I watch it, and I'm like, please stop doing this. Let me help you. Not in a criticizing way, but in I want you to win. You help people's lives all over the world. I'd love to help this brand. But they clearly, whoever's doing it for them doesn't understand some of these things. Either that or they're just not doing it, which would be worse. Like they're just stringing them along. I hope that's not the case. But could they compete with an Elliot Holst? Yes, because guess what? They could hire Elliot Holst to help them do it. That's the thing I don't get. Like, you have the money to hire an Elliot Holst. One of Gold's Gym's most popular videos is a video with Dwight Freeney. If you guys aren't football fans, it's cool. He's a Super Bowl winning defensive end, he's a Super Bowl winning outside linebacker in the NFL. He's a very popular guy. He was on a series in 2014 called All or Nothing with the Arizona Cardinals when they brought him out of retirement. He's a very well-known guy for fans of the sport. That's Gold's Gym's third most popular video. And I told Gold's Gym, look at the Dwight Freeney video that has over 100,000 views, and then look at this video with Susan from Utah that has 80 views. We need to continue having the discussion. Could they compete? Yes, 100% they could. But most big businesses, because they don't need to compete in the areas where we do yet, they will, mark my words. They just don't. Why does Apple own iTunes? Because Sony was complacent. Why do I call out Sony? Well, only because Sony is the biggest producer of music on the effing planet. There's no reason why iTunes should exist under any company. Do you one better? Facebook should be a Google property, period. Facebook shouldn't have existed outside of Google's ownership. Google owns the internet. Now Facebook does. Like at least Facebook owns a huge part of it. You know, they're competing. Now Facebook's a competitor. Facebook should have never got off the ground without Google buying that company out. But they don't do it because they don't need to compete. Every nation is born stoic and dies Epicurean, meaning you were born hungry and fighting, and Rocky 3, and then you die lazy. That's why you can't get off the grind. And that's a perfect example. These companies, the reason why they can't compete is because they don't fall in love with phase two. They don't fall in love with the grind. They grinded back in 1975 when Arnold Schwarzenegger was winning, they were grinding. But then once they rode that wave, they just got complacent. And it happens to everybody unless you consciously fight against it, which is part of what I'm trying to help all of you do tonight. So can they compete? 100%. Next, we've got... So Pascal says, your channel actually introduced me to MBTI. You were kind of the MBTI guy to me at first. Exactly. Once I figured out that my brand was associated as the MBTI guy, I just accepted it. Now, there's a caveat to that. I love talking about MBTI. If I hated it, I wouldn't keep doing it to help y'all win if I hated it, because then I have to lose for y'all to win. I'm willing to lose 1% for you all to win, not willing to lose 100%. Like, I'm willing to give you all 51 and I only get 49. I ain't giving you 101 and I get -1. You feel me? So, yeah, I accepted that that's what people saw me as and I responded. That's how you win. Victor says, some YouTubers get more audiences than even big company videos on YouTube. That surprises me. Shouldn't. Most big companies are stupid about social media. And that's not an insult. It's an observation of the reality. They're stupid in their social media behavior. All they'd have to do is look at the people who are winning and be like, oh, this is what they do. Let's just copy that. That's what big businesses that win do. Feel me? Jan says, thanks a lot. All those INFP videos. I'm an INFP, 20 years old, and I have no idea what to do with my life, and they help me quite a bit. Sweet. Pascal says, Victor, it sounds surprising, but it makes sense. New market has new listeners. Excuse me. That's what happens when you breathe in and drink water. That is lovely. All hail live video. It's always a show. Whew. Jesus is the way, isn't he? It'd be hilarious if I died on a video from choking on water. Let's not do that. All right, Isaac says, yeah, this channel was my sister and I's introduction to MBTI. I'm so glad because we are young teenagers and it helped a ton in school. Sweet. That blesses my heart to hear that. That's why I do what I do. So Pascal says if Elliot teamed up with Golds, I think he would lose a following because his work would no. And see, that's the problem is it doesn't have to be commercialized at all. It could literally be like Patrick Willis works out at Gold's Gym. Just put the freaking camera on Patrick Willis and put it on YouTube. That's what they did to Dwight Freeney. They just filmed him doing squats. 100,000 views. Same thing with Elliot. Now, Elliot owns his own gym, so he doesn't need Gold's Gym. But you don't make it a commercial. That's the problem with the way people approach social media is they approach it like they're making commercials. Cut that nonsense out. Make something. If Gold's Gym and Elliot got together to make something that was valuable for their audience, because, by the way, their audience is the same people. It's people who want to get in shape mentally and physically, right? They team up to do something that's valuable, not selling anything, not trying to sell Gold's Gym memberships. They team up to just show people how to do a specific workout that no one wants to do, but here's an easy way to do it. Then that's a natural video that people want to watch. Boom, it's win-win. Elliot doesn't lose it. Okay, yeah, 8 people on Elliot's channel. Like, oh, he's a sellout. Screw those 8 people. I'd block them. Because those are the people you don't want around anyway because they're dumb. You know, you're seeing a dude winning. Like, you supported this dude his whole life, and now that he's winning even more, you hate him. We'll jump off a cliff. I have no patience for those type of fans. In fact, I've always hated the word fans because I think the word is patronizing. I say friends. And so if you're my friend, you're never going to, you want me, if you are my friend, you want me to win 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. The minute I start winning even more and you get mad, you're not my friend. You are just a fan and you're done. I'm out. I'm not going to spend my time on fans. I'm going to spend my time on friends. So anyway, love the grind. 3, the frustration. And the better way to say this, it leads to frustration. Frustration is the result of the third part of the cycle. The third cycle should probably actually be called fatigue, right? You're running a 26-mile marathon. At mile number 11, you're going to hit the wall. You're going to get fatigued. It's a natural part of any endeavor that you're going to work hard. You're going to continue working hard. Even if you fall in love with the grind, you're going to get fatigued. 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, I did a hill workout, sprint workout, where I was doing my normal 10, my sets of 10 to get up to a mile. And I got to 7 and I was done. I was like, my brain wanted to keep going. It was, we need these last 3 sets because they're going to be magic for our shape and how we feel and how we look. I'm working to get down to 10, like 9 or 10% body fat, which is a bit harder for a guy like me because I'm naturally bigger. I'm a football player. We tend to carry more body fat percentage than most people, even when we're in really great shape. And so I was like, I need these last 3 sets. But my body was like, dude, we're finished and we're already back in the car. So you can keep running, brain, but we're sitting down in the grass. And I didn't sit down, I stayed up. Those last 3 sprints were hell. I mean, I hurt through them. They did not feel good. I didn't get in my car elated and ecstatic. I got in my car tired and ready to go to sleep. But in a month, I'm going to look back and be like, yep, glad I did that because now my obliques are showing. Oh, now I have a 4-pack, right? So there's going to be times where the grind just gets exhausting. You're doing everything right. And I was having success. Like I was having a really good workout until I got to 7. My sprints, my form was good. I was faster than I was the day before. I wasn't hurting as bad as the first day I got back into doing sprints because it was warmer outside. And I just was out of gas. And there's going to be times where you run out of gas. What we've got to do in phase 3, because you can't avoid phase 3. The first 3 phases have to happen, but they don't. Phase 3 doesn't have to lead to the result of frustration if you know how to manage the fatigue properly. Okay? How did I get through the fatigue and turn this into me being able to get through all 10 sprints? First of all, I stopped making pain my enemy and I used the pain. What do I mean by that? Simple. Instead of focusing on the fact that I'm hurting, my legs are tired, I feel like jello, I started focusing on, okay, in a month, this is going to lead to a cut in body fat percentage. I love the fact that this workout hurts because it means I'm doing everything I need to do to be in the proper shape. This is only going to add the stuff that's better for me. And by the way, I love the challenge. I love the fact that my body is ready to give out and I, with my brain, can overcome that. I love the sense of control that I have because I'm going to overcome this fatigue with sheer willpower. And I did. And I got through the last 3 sets and they sucked and they hurt. When I was done, I mentally felt great about myself because I pushed myself. And here's the deal. I knew my body had more in it, but your body is lazy. So is your brain until you retrain it. So I pushed myself through to make that happen. It's the same thing with you. You're going to go from excitement. And if you've done everything right that I told you in the excitement phase, you're going to get to the grind and you're going to be okay. Some of the excitement's going to wear off, but you're going to be all right. But eventually, 6 months down the line of making videos every single day, you're going to hit fatigue. It's just going to happen. There's weeks where I don't want to film on YouTube. I got to do it. Not because I got to make money. I don't monetize this channel. I don't. I never plan to. Now, I always caveat that with I may promote a brand at some point that I believe in, but I'm not going to monetize it with ads, is my point. Like ads where you have to watch a stupid Ford truck commercial before you watch my videos. I think that's the stupidest thing in the world. I didn't used to think it, but now I do because it just lacks empathy. So the fatigue is going to happen. But we can prevent the fatigue from leading to frustration with a couple of different steps. One, like I said, making sure you've got the excitement phase right. Your vision is going in the right direction. You're learning day by day, video by video, step by step, punch by punch, fight by fight to learn to love the grind, to love the fact that I'm about to crush these last 3 sprints with my mind because my body gave up. And then 3, when fatigue sets in, you've got to have systems in place to keep the fatigue from turning into frustration. Here's what I mean. In World War II, by World War II, America had figured out, the US Army had figured out that we can only keep guys in combat for a certain amount of time before what the military and the people in that world call the well of fortitude runs dry, meaning your emotional strength. There's a well, picture it like a well, right? As you keep fighting and you watch friends get hurt, heaven forbid you watch a friend die, no matter what happens, or you're just in firefights and you're physically tired, that emotional energy is going to come down to zero. When you get here, mistakes happen, people get hurt, people get killed. So what the Army figured out was we can only keep the guys in the fight for so long before we have to pull them out of the fight and let them rest and reconstitute that well of fortitude or that well of emotional strength. You have to build a similar system into your life as an entrepreneur and into your life as an artist. You've got to have a system that allows you not to completely deplete your well of fortitude, but a system that also helps you replenish it. What does that look like to a YouTuber or a social media influencer? Very simple. Have a system that you use to make your video recording, editing, and publishing simple. Okay? Most of the videos that I produce, almost every one of them, I produce on this little device right here. That means the filming, the editing, and the music and the publishing happen right here. Meaning, what would typically take several hours to do, I can do in 15 minutes. I can, in 15 minutes, have a video recorded, edited, added music, and uploaded to YouTube. Then it just takes me another 5 minutes to go on my laptop and add the tags and the descriptions and that stuff, which is usually fairly easy because I have a system for that too. So instead of spending hours editing video, I spend 15 to 30 minutes because sometimes my videos are longer than 15 minutes. So that's a system for production. You also have to, and so once you have a system for production, you can produce. So think of it like a business, supply and demand. You can produce a surplus of supply, meaning you can produce more videos than you need for that day. If you're a person like me who drops a video every day, then what you're looking at in that particular case is if I can produce, there's days where I've produced upwards of 6 videos in a day. That's 6 days worth of videos that are now filmed, edited, published, that all I have to do is go back, do the metadata for, and then those videos are ready to go and scheduled. That's 6 days of content. Then if the next day I film another 6 days of content, I put that out. Now I have 12 days of content, and I'm 2 days into a 12-day content cycle. Is that somebody? People at the window, man. Keep seeing people. It's terrifying in the dark. But having that system in place is going to be greatly helpful to you because it's going to keep you from getting burnt out every day having to spend hours doing content. But what are the implied tasks, as we would call it as military planners? Well, the implied tasks are you're not going to make videos that are Hollywood caliber. You're just not going to do that, right? Now, if you're a person who makes Hollywood caliber, like you're a film person, you're going to have to spend a lot more time making your content. But there's some systems that I teach people how to do in our program as well, where you can put out more regular content that's more vloggy and then have what's called your hero content come out after the fact when you spend a month working on it. But for those of you doing vlogs or video game videos, they don't need to be these highly polished. Speed and precision are always going to beat speed is almost always going to beat, I'm trying to think of the word to use. I don't want to use quality because quality is subjective. Speed is always going to beat perfection. Let me say that. Speed will always beat perfection. If you can get 365 videos out per year, you are going to have 365 chances to win versus the person that only puts out a video a week, 52 videos a year. They're spending a lot more time producing that content. You have 365 opportunities to win. They have 52. The odds are you're going to win. Even if your stuff is slightly less well produced than theirs, again, not comparing someone who's filming short films to a person who's doing a vlog or a video game show, but comparing two channels that make video game shows, let's say, people that do Let's Plays. You got person A that spends a week editing their Let's Play, trying to make it perfect. You got person B is like, man, build it and send it out, right? 365 chances to win, 52 chances to win. Chances are the 365 chances to win person is going to win. Not every time, but you want to play the odds in your favor. So when it comes to fatigue, you want to have a system that allows you to pump out, because the fact of the matter is, if you're going to be a YouTuber, you're going to make a lot of content. In fact, if you're going to be a social media influencer in any way, shape, or form, you're going to put out a lot of content. Now, when I start coaching on Twitter and things of that nature on this channel, I will show you ways, especially like we're getting ready to launch the pilot for my my Facebook part of the Social Media Ninja Academy. And, you know, there are things you can use that keep you from having to produce for hours and hours and hours a day. And we'll get into some of that stuff. But the point here is you need systems in place. You know, the military, we call them standard operating procedures, meaning if I am walking with my team in a combat environment and I'm leading the charge, if someone starts shooting at us from over here, we already know what we're going to do to respond to it, because we have a standard practice that says if we start getting shot at, here is what we do. So we don't have to stop and think, okay, we're being shot at, what do we do? We automatically react because we know it, we've practiced it, it's a standard, and we've done it, we've rehearsed it a million times, right? We're going to get the contact, we're going to get down, get behind, cover, find concealment if we can. Part of our team is going to return fire to get the rest of the team away. Then they're going to get into a safe position. They're going to start firing at the target so the rest of the team can get away. Like, we're going to know what to do tactically. And because we've rehearsed it a million times, we're going to be able to do it in a high stress situation without even having to think about it. That's one of the things the military is very practiced at, is building systems like that. Because to survive, and business is no different, to survive, you're going to have systems. You can't do all the heavy lifting all the time by yourself. And if you're by yourself, you need systems to keep you effective and efficient. The same thing goes with fatigue. You need to have that in place. The second arm of fatigue, a lot of people are going to get fatigued because you're doing the wrong thing. You screwed up back in phase 1 of the life cycle. You didn't get focused in the right direction. You played the role of the Al Sharpton opportunist guy, and now you're frustrated, you're fatigued, and now you're frustrated because this thing you thought was going to be awesome isn't working, and now you're, oh, screw it, I'm just going to quit. Phase 4. Well, if you were doing the right thing, that fatigue wouldn't turn into frustration. It would turn into, okay, I'm fatigued. How do I get out of it? I still love what I'm doing, and I don't want to stop. But if you screw up that pitfall and excitement, you are doomed. Hear me. You are guaranteed to hit frustration when you get to phase 3. It's just a fact. Because when that fatigue sets in, when you get tired, you don't want to keep running unless you have something that's keeping you in the game, a prize, an incentive. If you have no incentive because your idea was just, I'm going to post Louis C.K. comedy videos and hopefully make $1 million off the residual views, it's not a viable plan. You're going to get frustrated and you're going to quit. Or YouTube's going to shut you down, even worse. So we need to make sure we get that right. And the more we fall in love with the grind, here's the beautiful part. The more you fall in love with the grind, the less fatigued you get. In other words, as I do these hill sprints, every time I do them, it gets a little bit easier. I'm able to run a little bit faster, a little bit longer, a little bit harder without hurting as bad. So you don't fatigue as fast because you're learning to love the grind. Now, I'm using a lot of fitness analogies, but guys, ladies, it's fitness, business, YouTube, it's all the same. The principles of success do not change regardless of what you are trying to get success in. It takes excitement and enthusiasm. It takes planning. It takes willingness to experiment and fail and readjust. It takes the willingness to grind and grind and grind and grind until it works without giving up. It takes the willingness to work tired and to play hurt and not allow those hurts and that fatigue to turn into frustration, because you know you're working for a greater good. And if you don't, my friends, that frustration is eventually going to turn into I quit. And that's the last nail in the coffin. And the saddest part is most people will quit and then they'll restart again, not having learned the lesson. And I've had this happen in my life. I've started projects and been like, oh my God, I quit. A lot of people thought I quit my clients incoming or my Alloy 7 channel. I didn't really quit. I had no intention to quit. I just had an intention to pivot what I was doing to something I liked more. I'm still here every day. And people's like, why are you quitting? I'm not. I'm realizing from lessons in my life in the past that this is not going to work long term and I need to adjust to something. I need to go back to excitement, find out what excites me, and focus on that. Never going to quit, just going to adjust the way I get to my end. See what I'm saying? But most people, they'll quit and they're like, oh, I'm going to do something, and they'll start over again, not having learned the lesson. That excitement gives way to the grind, gives way to fatigue. Fatigue gives way to frustration if you screw up the excitement and the grinding phases. And then frustration inevitably leads to quitting. My friends, that's what I have for you tonight. Hopefully I've given you something to help you avoid the I quit scenario. Let's get into some Q&A. Let's talk about my social media ninja academy if you're interested in talking about that. Anything's on the table. As always with one of my live calls, the questions do not have to be specifically related to the things I talked about tonight. Any question you have about social media, YouTube, family life, personality types, otherwise, are welcome here. Let's get it in. Let me go through the comments I have already, and I'll wait for your questions as I do. Wow, there were a lot of comments since the last time I looked at the screen. Minecart family says, good to see you live again. It's good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so for those of you who've been, because people have actually been messaging me on Facebook, by the way, get at me on Facebook, please. It's the easiest place to have conversations outside. It's better than email. It's better than trying to, heaven forbid, have a freaking conversation on YouTube. Having a conversation on YouTube is a nightmare. Get at me on Facebook so when you have something to talk to me about, we can actually talk about it. All right, we can direct message each other. Uh, for those of you who tuned in late, the reason why I've been gone for 2 weeks is because my dad did finally pass away 2 weeks ago, or it's 2 weeks tomorrow. He will have passed. And definitely a very sad occasion for my family, but a very joyous occasion that my dad is no longer suffering. Thank you so much for your prayers and your concerns. I can't express to you how much of a blessing it was to hear all of you say, I'm praying for you, I'm thinking about you, your family is in our thoughts and our hearts. And things like that. You think it's something small that you're doing for a person. You think you're just giving them kind of a courtesy. People that watch me want me to win because I want them to win. It's reciprocal. And you don't know how much it just warms the heart of a person who's struggling and suffering to know that other people care about him or her. So I thank you guys and ladies immensely for your care for me and my family, your prayers. Your prayers worked. Dad is home with God now. He's fully healed. I couldn't negatively look at it and say, oh, I lost my dad. I did. But the mission's got to go on. My dad, if he were standing right here, and I believe he is spiritually, he would say, one more fight. Get back on the grind, dude, just because I'm gone. My dad would say, dude, I did my part. Now you get back on camera and you go help these people the same way that I helped millions. My dad helped millions of people in this world you don't even understand. I got people sending me Facebook messages I've never heard of. Like, I heard your dad pass. I want to send you this thing because he changed my life. I'm like, I've never heard of you in my life. But that's the legacy my dad left behind. And if I were sitting here sulking and didn't get back on camera, he'd be like, Slim, what's the holdup? I changed lives. What are you doing? Not in a negative way, but in a, dude, you got work to do. You got to be on this earth for at least another 50 years. Get busy. I'd be like, yes, sir. Time to go to work. And that's my dad, man. And he would say it a lot nicer than that. I'm a little more flamboyant than my father is, but that's what he would say to me, which is enough crying. Get your butt cheeks up and go make something happen for these people people are desperately in need of the knowledge and the skill set that you have, because you have been blessed to have been raised by me. You have been blessed to have a military experience fighting with some of the most elite soldiers on the planet. You have been blessed to be coached and mentored by some of the smartest people in the world. Not everybody else has that. You owe it to them and you owe it to me to make a legacy that'll make me proud. And that's why I get up every day and do this, man. Now, I was gone for 2 weeks because obviously we're dealing with funeral arrangements and other things. I wasn't gone because I was crying. I was gone because I was working, trying to make sure my dad was squared away. And was I crying? Sure. Sad. We had his funeral yesterday. And I cried during my talk. At the end, I got through most of my talk without crying. I was strong. But there's sadness, but there's so much more joy than there is sadness. You got to know that, and that's not me putting on a front. I don't front. It's not in my DNA to freaking BS people. And it's just joy, man. I'm so happy that Dad's not hurt because me and my dad are both warriors. He was a Vietnam vet. I was a modern warfare guy, not Call of Duty, but the modern wars that are going on now. And warriors have a special mentality where, when he was immobilized, he was 100% disabled. I knew. I was like, that's a wrap. I went and talked to him. I said, look, man, if you're ready to go, we're ready to let you go. Because warriors don't deserve to be laid up in a bed somewhere. You deserve to be running in the fields, man, running on them gold streets of heaven. That's you. You can go tell God all the jokes you used to tell me. And that's the thing. Like, we are wired to fight. And when we don't have the ability to fight, it's time to go. Period. And that's the thing. Like, if I stop fighting, then I lose my willpower, and I refuse to do that. So I'm going to keep fighting for you all. That's what Dad would want. That's what I'm going to do. So when I go to see him again, he's like, yeah, B. And Dad didn't have the luxury of the internet to reach 1 million people. I have no excuse. I can come on here every day and make stuff that can literally go around. If you help me, we can get this information out to millions of people because it can change their life. And here's the sweet part about everything I do. I hope those of you who've been around me a while and you've heard me say it and you get it, those of you who are new, understand that this stuff I'm teaching you, like it's about starting a YouTube career, everything on this sheet tonight applies to your life. This is life happening right here in front of you. I disguise a lot of stuff as marketing YouTube. I was meeting with one of my mentors, a guy named Joe Soto, a couple weeks ago, and we were both talking. I said, look, Joe, here's the real deal, man. All this marketing stuff we do, it's a front. It's a front to get us in people's lives so that we can do something that helps change their life. Like me helping your business changes your life. It doesn't just put money in my bank account. That's cool. Money's going to come. Money is coming all the time in increasing measure because we're helping more people. But I'm going to get in there and change a life. We had the meeting in one of his clients' restaurants. And you listen to her talk about Joe, and I talk about Joe the same way because this type of guy is. She's like, that dude changed my life. He fundamentally and completely turned around our business. Like you can see tears welling up when people talk about this guy because he's a life changer. And I told him, I said, dude, that's why we're in this game. It's not to be better YouTubers. He couldn't care less about that. What we care about is impacting lives in a positive way. And that's what we do on a daily basis. And I think my godfather just came in. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's my godfather. This is my man, Dallas Brown. So we run a raw show, so you're good. Matter of fact, guys, excuse me 1 second.
I'm still up here on the shelf, so I don't say it's a little. Hey, man.
Love you, man.
Yeah, same here. Great stuff, Bishop. Man. That was good. I'm not looking up to watch some of this.
Yeah, come on through. Come on through. It's a blessing to have you. Thanks, Dallas. All right. So that was my godfather. He slid through tonight to show the family some love. I had to get up and show him some love, too. But you get the point. Don't miss the point. All right. We're in this together. Nothing I'm doing here is about me making people into better YouTubers more than it's about improving life. I work with YouTubers who seek it. Like if you look at the YouTubers who join my program, you look at the people who are attracted to me, all of them fundamentally want to see the world different. Now, the way they go about helping that happen can be different. But at the end of the day, their focus is on making lives better. Even if it's just making their life better. That's fair. Still life. All right. So, good to see the Minecart family. So the Minecart family says 650 subs on YouTube, 1,250 subs between all platforms. But serious after 750 videos, it's a super grind. It is a grind. And here's the deal. Some people are going to have faster growth than that. The question you have to ask yourself is YouTube or these other platforms, was it your first foray into what you're doing? People look at me and they wonder why I'm able to get quicker growth than some other people in my field. I'm not doing PewDiePie numbers yet, but how does this very niche guy draw the audience that he does? Well, this isn't my first rodeo. I had a military leadership career. I had a Fortune 500 leadership career where I was developing people. A lot of stuff I'm telling you guys is stuff that I've been preaching for the better part of 20 years of my life. or more if you count the time, before I was, in the working world. And so this isn't new to me. It's just I'm doing it on a new platform. So it may take me less videos to get where I'm going because I've got experience. But cherish each one of those 750 videos because each one of them is experience. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to look back to 750. You come in. Come on. You good? Okay, you can come in if you want. What's up? You want to come in?
Nah, we're good, man.
Okay, cool.
Check.
That was my cousin Drew, man. What was I talking about? Oh, so what I want you to do is I want you to look back 750 videos ago. Look at where you are today. Look at the amount of progress that you've made. That progress is valuable. Because look back to 750 videos ago. Are you the same? Are you not fundamentally changed in some positive way? Are you not further along the road? Look at how far. You're 650 subs. I think the average YouTuber gets less than 500 in a lifetime. I think that's right. Sometimes I get my numbers wrong because I don't pay attention to statistics when I'm in a YouTube partners meeting with the YouTube engineers. But look at where you are today and then look back to where you were and just ask yourself, is the progress valuable? Would you want to have more progress? Sure. And there's people like me and Tim Schmoyer and guys that can help you do that. But don't diminish the progress. Don't take away the power of the progress, even though it's not the progress you wanted to see. Look, man, with my skills and my knowledge and the things that I'm able to do I sometimes get frustrated that I should have way more people following me? Yes, sometimes. But I don't focus on that. I focus on the fact that I have several thousand people here who want to hear what I have to say. That's amazing. And out of those thousands, a couple hundred will tell me ways that I've changed their life. That's worth every one of the 100 or whatever many videos I've made. Now, sometimes you just make stuff that people don't want to watch, or unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to get stuff in front of people. They don't know how to use the YouTube system to their advantage. They just make stuff and it kind of just goes out into the ether and then no one ever sees it. And there's ways to avoid that fate. My personality type videos didn't just blow up because they blew up. I knew how to use the system to get those videos in front of people and how to piggyback on other creators and how to get things in front of people organically. I have a lot of practitioner skill at doing that. Did that lead to 1 million followers? No. The highest viewed video in that category, view-wise, is 100,000 or so, and I have about 40% of that. As a new guy, some of these people have been doing these videos for 6 years. So I look at that as I could be mad that I only have 4,000 people following me on this channel or whatever, or I could look at, with only 4,000 people following me, which is less than half than the big people in this niche, and I'm killing a lot of their stuff, I'm winning, relatively speaking. Again, it's not PewDiePie numbers yet, but I'm playing the long game. If I wanted to play the short game and make sensationalized content that I know plays on people's human psychology and biology, do I know how to do that? Yeah, sure do. Absolutely know how to do that. But I don't do it because I am not in the business of manipulating people or making opportunistic content that's just going to get me views and not lead to changing people. Now, will I use some of those psychological principles and things that I create? Sure. But not to manipulate, to help. If I can keep somebody's attention with something good that I have to say, then that benefits them, not me. Remember, I don't make a dime from people watching these videos. There's no money changing hands. And I did that on purpose because I wanted people to know this isn't about the money, dog. This is about all of us linking together, developing our minds so that we can, we talk about changing the system and changing. You're not going to change the system until you change you. The system is a direct, presidents, governments, they're all a direct reflection of us. We have the politicians we deserve. And when we get better, the politicians will get better because we will have stepped up our game and it will be politically untenable for the politicians we think are bad to be in office. If you think a politician is bad, I don't know. I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to politics. So anyway, I believe in the people. So Kimberly says, anyway, I'm encouraging you, brother or sister. I'm not sure which one you are, but be encouraged. You've made less progress than you wanted to. go back 750 videos and look at how much did you come 650 subscribers in just to say screw it and go home after, like, look, if I make 750 videos, I'm in it to win. And then what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm not winning as much as I'd like to because I'm averaging less than a subscriber per video. Let me go figure out why that's the case. Instead of getting in the fatigue and frustration, I'm going to go back to excitement. And I'm going to go back to the grind, and I'm going to evaluate, why are people not connecting with these videos? What is it about YouTube that I don't understand that's keeping people from seeing my content? That's what you have to think about. All right, Kimberly says, I'm feeling a little fatigued now with YouTube, but I have a bigger following on other social media platforms. Brands are starting to recognize me now, and I'm working with a couple of them. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I talk about YouTube a lot, but in some cases, some of us are just better on other platforms. I would probably, and my content really doesn't suit Pinterest, so that's not really a thing. I don't do well on Twitter. I have 1,000 and some followers, but I don't do particularly well on Twitter but here's the deal. I know it works on Twitter. I hate that type of content, so I wouldn't make it. It would be a lose. I'd be losing to win. I'd be making content that I hate to get a lot of followers. I'm losing to win. Like, I refuse to do it. The other thing with Twitter specifically is it's not just the content that works there, but the platform is so extremely loud, and so much of Twitter, and this plays true on Instagram as well, is controlled by automated accounts. So a lot of what's happening is like, I remember there are accounts literally that are set up with bots that if you follow a particular influencer, like say you follow Tony Robbins, and I've tested this so many times. Like if I follow Tony Robbins, like the first time, and I do follow, the minute I follow Tony Robbins, 20 other people followed me. Well, it's because they're running a bot that says, follow the people who follow this guy because I sell what Tony Robbins sells, and I want to use this as a means to contact them. That's not, I'm not in that game. I want genuine, authentic, powerful connections with human beings. I don't want bots following people. Now, there's ways to automate content. I'm okay with that, but I'm still selecting that content, not having a bot click it for me. I'm setting it up and then it's publishing later. I do the same thing on YouTube. I record a bunch of stuff and put it out. So if you're doing really well on another platform, it may be that, people always say that content is king, but remember that context is God. So different content works better on different platforms. And unfortunately, what a lot of people do is they make one thing and then blast it on every platform. Well, videos on YouTube, the expectation when people watch a video on YouTube is very different than the expectation when people watch a video on Facebook. People will come to YouTube and listen to a 15-minute discussion about the Myers-Briggs and temperaments and personalities that can impact their lives in a positive way. When people are browsing Facebook, that's usually not the intent. But people will totally listen to beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lambs, and that'll get 7 million views. Or the lady with the Chewbacca mask, the video where she's just laughing uncontrollably. Now, don't get me wrong, those videos can work on YouTube as well, but there's nuances to the platform that make them work. You can't just post the same thing you would post on Facebook, on Instagram, and expect to get the exact same results because the audiences, each person that's on, so a person that's on all of those platforms is a different person on all of those platforms. They're on Instagram for beauty. And not just women. I mean, not just women and men in bikinis and shirts off, but beauty. Now that's the theme there. Facebook is engagement and quick entertainment, right? Staying connected with people. YouTube is kind of a smorgasbord, but at the end of the day, it favors kids' content, it favors gaming, it favors VR. Right? These are the things that work well there. And YouTube is very personal. So like when someone subscribes to you, they see it's almost like dating. Like I've had people say, you just earned another sub. Well, what they're telling me is you make something valuable and something that's very valuable to me, which is my time and my subscribing to your channel. I'm going to give it to you because you gave something to me that I like. So YouTube needs to have a very personal touch. This is why Gold's Gym is losing and Elliot Hulse and Jeff Cavaliere are winning because it's personal. So look at where you're having success, and in some cases, it's okay to divest. I still post content to Twitter, but I have mentally divested from the platform because I just realized this is not a place where I'm going to get very much ROI. I'm not going to get return on investment. I'm not going to change lives on Twitter because that's not why people are there. You know, it's a news and comedy site, and the more sensational, the better. I'm not much of a sensational. Let me make up a story and talk about it for 17 hours. That's just, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I can totally believe it happened. I've like I have children and have been in combat. There's not much you're going to say on the news that's going to surprise me. It's not going to happen. So sensational stuff doesn't work on me. Like, oh my God, did you hear that Lionel Richie kicked Oprah Winfrey in the neck? Like, okay, they're both human beings. They're flawed. Got it. I don't need to watch a CNN newsfeed clip about it for the next 18 hours. Most people do. So just knowing which platform gives you the best context. Definitely read Gary Vaynerchuk's Jab, 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 Right Hook book. I think that'll give you a lot more insight into what I'm talking about here in a lot more detail. So Minecart Family says that's hard for me since I live stream games. Yeah, live streaming on YouTube's tough to garner the type of audience that you want because YouTube loves live video when it's live. It doesn't love it when it's not live. So it's this whole separate algorithm. It's something I have physically fussed at YouTube about in person to some of their engineers. Like, guys, what is our incentive to live stream? Other than, yeah, we could get a lot of engagement with our current audience, but we can also piss off a lot of our audience because if we're live streaming all the time and they're getting these feeds every time that I'm live streaming, they'll unsubscribe. It's true. Like a live stream, because it'll get blasted across your YouTube network and it'll get promoted. And sometimes it will cost you subscribers. And I'm like, so what's the incentive here, guys? Like I wanted to do exclusively live streams because I'm better live than pre-recorded. But when I realized that's just not a viable strategy on YouTube, I had to quit. So you just have to adjust and figure out, is live streaming the best thing for you? And if live streaming is what you want to do, maybe you're better suited using Twitch. All right. Tommy Lowell says, are you willing to recruit a guy? Not looking for anything except doing it. I'm not sure what you mean. Flesh that question out a bit more. My card says, I saw the Ninja Academy. I wish I could take it, but I'm literally losing money daily trying to make this channel happen. Yeah, so you got to evaluate your priorities too. Like, is running the channel what you should be doing? If you're losing money on it, I don't know that that's something you want to keep doing. Now, granted, some of the best businesses in the world do lose money until they start winning. But if you're 700 videos in, if you're 750 videos in and you are still losing money, there's something wrong. And so I won't say that you need to join the academy, but you do need to figure out what's causing you to still bleed. I mean, that would be the equivalent of a business losing money for over 2 years. And that's possible. I mean, even by tax laws, a business can lose money for up to 5 years. But in your case, because you are working to make a profit, like you're not losing money to build something. You're just losing money because things aren't going your way. Then you need to start evaluating. All right, what are we doing wrong? You know, and I can tell you right now, if all you're doing is live streams, that's probably, I won't say with 100% authority because I don't know enough about your channel. Chances are the fact that you're just doing live streams is why you're losing. And you either need to move to Twitch, maybe even Facebook Live, experiment there, or you need to start making content and then uploading it. Trust me, I spent 2.5 years? Started back in 2014 and I shut it down I spent 2 years experimenting with just live streaming. It did not work. And it wasn't because I make whack content. It wasn't because I didn't understand SEO. It wasn't that I wasn't engaging. I had, for the size of my channel, I had a substantial number of people watching our shows. It just doesn't convert to anything valuable at the end. So you got to find a mix there that works for you. Let's see. Victor says, a lot of good advice from Brian. It's been helpful. Amazing. Glad to hear that. And I keep dropping my water bottle. see, what kind of systems are you using aside from content dripping? Oh, dude, I got systems for everything. For my business, how I do from everything from how I create content to how I manage my money to how I do email marketing. It's all part of a system. It would take way too long to explain all the systems that I use and explain how I use them and how I build them. All right. He says, I understand the mindset. Guess I just feel differently though. I'm almost completely disabled like that. But I'm trying. Yeah. Well, you're not gonna if you're struggling, you're not gonna, if you're struggling with limitations in your mind, you're not gonna eradicate them tonight. And this is something I've had talks with about people that struggle with different types of like anxiety disorders and whatnot. And it's very hard for them to do. And I understand that and I empathize with it. But part of the issue with your mind is you don't train it. Like your mind is a muscle. And you're not just going to tell yourself one time, I'm a winner or I'm a ninja, and then go eat cake and it's over. Every day you have to get up and commit to that and retrain. Like there are things in my life where I have physically had to say out loud for the better part of 4 months, this is something that I believe, until I convinced myself. And then I was able to act on it. And now it's I don't have to say it anymore because it is. It is my reality now because I trained my mind to believe that. I trained my mind to get happy when I'm struggling to finish my last 3 sets of a mile-long sprint workout. I've trained you don't just show up to a workout and all of a sudden you love hurting. That takes, how long I've been training literally. How long have I been training? I have been training 20, how many years? No, yeah, 25 years I've been training physically. So I didn't get here yesterday. I got here from 25 years worth of work. All right. So Pascal says it's always interesting to see the intention behind the business and how it's not always the same as the perception. I thought you wanted to be the MBTI guy, but you said you adjusted. No, so here's the deal. Nobody wants to be put in a box, period. Do I enjoy being labeled the MBTI guy? Yes, because I enjoy MBTI, but I don't, for the rest of my entire life, I don't want to make INFP videos. What I want to do is help people. And if INFP videos are what's helping me do that today, then that's what I'll do. But nobody wants to be put into a box. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to just be known as you're the INFP guy. Now we accept that role because that's what it takes to grow. You start small and then you expand. It's just the way the human mind works. You can't come out saying I'm everything to everybody because then no one pays attention. But yeah, to say that I want to be I don't want to be any guy. I don't. I want to be the dude who leaves a legacy of improving. Like if I wanted to be a guy, I want to be the life changer. This dude fundamentally changed my life for the better. That's the guy I want to be. And if MBTI helps me do that today, I'll continue doing it. If tomorrow it stops helping people, it's over. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to be pigeonholed into anything but changing people's lives for the better. And MBTI and all these things are just ways that I do it. They're methods. Just like I don't want to be a YouTuber. I am a person who wants to put information and knowledge into the world that helps make the world a better place. I just happen to use YouTube to do it because YouTube is a good place to do it. All right, let's get some other people's comments up in this. Raven, there she is. What's up? All right, she's answering questions for me. Thank you, Raven. Sutherland says, MBTI, these are tendencies. We are not locked in. Everybody, yeah, thank you, Sutherland. 100% agree. All right, so Raven's in there. Kimberly says, that's so true. You have to practice it every day. It has to become part of your lifestyle. Absolutely. So My Car Family says, I am a Drupal web developer. I can build software and do frequently. I would be curious what kind of setup you're using for your automation. I would love to hear about that sometime. I'm not sure if that was directed at me because I see that there's been conversations going on here. Raven says, I am INTP, and I am not the same as every other INTP. I have mostly worked in retail and in overall Senzi. My phone type, let me just pick up my phone instead of trying to read it from a distance. Cool. Okay. Well, looks like I've got through all the questions. Victor says Gary Vaynerchuk is really good. Yes, indeed he is. All right, so for one of the comments that Minecart made, for anybody else who's, if you're struggling and you need help, a lot of times what we do when we need help is we start to hoard. So if I'm already bleeding money, what I'm going to start trying to do is patch the holes in the ship and, store the little bit of money I have. What a lot of people don't understand about the way money works is that money is made when money is deployed. No, I mean, that's even biblical principle. You sow and then you reap. When you plant a seed, a tree grows with fruit that has multiple seeds in it. What most people do is when they're struggling, they take what seeds they have and they go hide them instead of planting them. So when you join a program like the Social Media Ninja Academy, and I believe in it very highly, and you don't have to join that program. There's a lot of other people out there who do good stuff. But the point here is when you join a program like that, you are deploying finances, you're investing into something that's going to give you back way more than you put in. At least my program. I can't speak for everybody else's. In fact, I've seen other programs that are just horrifying that people paid money for them at all, let alone, the amount of money they paid for them. But when you invest your money into a thing like that, then it's going to equip you with knowledge and practical. It's not going to give you the abilities because you're going to develop those by working, but it's going to give you the knowledge on how to develop the abilities and how to, oh, this is why this is going wrong. Like the tip I gave you tonight, which is if you're only live streaming, I can almost guarantee you that's part of the reason why you're not having the success that you want to have. Just because, first of all, especially we're not even talking about what you're live streaming, because if you're live streaming something that channel's way bigger than you are live streaming, it's going to be very hard to compete. And then once that live stream is over, you can forget YouTube promoting that video for you. Like this video, when I do these live streams, they're not to help my channel, they're to help y'all, because once this video is over, any chance of me getting promotion from YouTube, no matter how good this video is, no matter how good my SEO, my search engine optimization and meta tagging is, YouTube's just going to bury it. At least today. Hopefully they'll change that. That's what I fussed at them about. But YouTube wants what they can sell ads on. Now, granted, I don't sell ads on my stuff, so they probably don't care either way. But the point is, 2.5 hour live stream is not something they're going to sell ads on, especially if it's not something that held the attention of thousands of people while it was broadcasting. So you're almost better off building a big audience and then getting into more frequent live streaming, because then YouTube will say, well, if freaking 4,000 people watch. Like I did have a stream, for example, that was 2 hours long of me playing The Division with a friend of mine named Terrence. And we played it, and there's about 20 people watching the show. This is on another channel I had before. And about 20 people were watching the show. But as we were playing, the servers crashed. But we didn't turn off the stream. What we didn't understand is that everybody's servers crashed, and everybody was watching The Division because it was the beta release, and not like only certain people. Like I got access to it because I'm friends with some military guys who run a charity using video games, and they hooked me up with a code. So me and Terrence are in there playing. The servers cut off, but by sheer blind luck, this was not premeditated. Terrence and I did not stop our show. Everybody else was like, well, guys, the servers are down, so we're going to go to bed. It was like 12 midnight. Terrence and I were like, we were having a really good conversation, so we just left the servers are down screen on and just kept talking. But what we started to realize was hundreds and hundreds of people started to descend on this video because it was the only channel still broadcasting The Division. And what happened was they didn't get to watch us play, but they got to ask us questions about the game. So it became this Q&A session that went on until like 2 in the morning of us just talking about the game. And people were really enjoying the conversation, even though there was no gameplay. That video blew up on the channel for a small channel. Eventually it tapered off when interest died down and everyone got to play The Division. No one cared anymore. But outside of those situations, you're almost better off building a large audience and then working the live stream instead of trying to build your audience through live streaming. Unless, like I said, if you are a live streamer and that's what's in your DNA, I would experiment with Twitch and Facebook. And just when YouTube figures out how to make live stream better for gamers, then come back. Those are things that you have to think about, but when you're in programs like mine or like Tim's or other people, we're going to show you those things. We're going to tell you those things. And if you're on our live calls, you're going to get those things in more detail. You're going to actually be able to ask and then get the answers tailored to what you're doing. So my encouragement to you in that whole tirade is not just trying to remove your objection. I respect your objection. And it is your objection. What I'm trying to help you understand is don't hoard your seeds when you're struggling. That's when you need to deploy seeds out into the world. You need to put money into things so that money can come back to you because you put that money in a good place. You feel me? So you want to get with people who can actually help you stop losing the money. Now, granted, you still have to do the execution. All the help and knowledge in the world ain't going to help you if you don't do what's right. I have people that have been through my programs who don't listen. You put one guy in that listens to what I say, he shoots up to 10,000 subscribers a month. You have people that don't listen to what I say, and they're pretty much where they were when they started. And those are usually the people that quit after 2 months or a month. And they just bounce. It's like, oh, I don't think this is for me. Well, you didn't give it time. Like, you gave it 30 days, and I guarantee you weren't here every day learning. You gave it 30 days, you probably watched 4 videos. You're like, oh, I'm not rich yet, so I quit. And that's what most people do, and that's what you have to avoid. Let's see. Okay, so for Minecart's question, I wasn't talking about necessarily technology systems. I mean just standard policies and procedures that I use to execute things when I said systems. Some of it is automated, but a lot of it is just ways that I do my business. Let's see. Pascal says, "Do you think 22 Immutable Laws of Branding by Al Rees is good?" I haven't read Branding yet. I've read the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. I thought it was an excellent book. I thought immutable is probably a bit strong of a word to use, especially just as the internet has completely changed the way we do business. So I think some of the laws are immutable or are mutable. But I think the principles behind the laws are amazing. I have not read the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding yet, though. I'm sure it's pretty good. I loved the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. Also loved Positioning, which was another great book by Al Rees and Jack Trout. So that's a dual written book. It's Al Rees and Jack Trout that wrote those. And I thought they were some of the first marketing books I ever read. And I was like, these guys are like, I was just at a used bookstore. I was like, 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And this was years ago. I was like, I want to get better at marketing. And it looks like an easy book to read with pictures. That's always up the alley of a guy like me, and I dug it. So my car says that's exactly what's happening in my videos. They are burying all. Yeah, that's what live streaming on YouTube is going to do to you. It only changed a month ago when suggested videos changed. It killed about 90. Yeah, especially when suggested videos change, because that's your only chance sometimes with a live video. When suggested videos changed, it killed about 90% of natural search. I've been at this for about 6 months now. Yeah, in 6 months, honestly, dudes, it's 750 videos over 6 months is insanely productive, just in terms of your production. But 6 months is not enough time to evaluate. And I imagine if you're putting out 750 videos in 6 months, that you may be pushing too much. Like I would take a look at all 750 videos, look at your top 20, what's similar about them, and figure that out, and then start making content like that. Then you can make less content, invest less time, and just do the things that win. Yeah, and daily streams from 2 to 7 hours. I mean, you can take it to the bank. You run a 7-hour stream, YouTube ain't promoting that thing. You can forget about it. It could be a 7-hour video talking about how you cured AIDS. And nobody's sitting through that video, and YouTube's not going to promote it. Not after the fact. YouTube will promote the live stream while you're live, but no. Anyway, who else has questions for the guy here? All right. Who else might have and so if everybody's questions are answered, we can go ahead and get ready to close down. I do highly encourage everybody to check out in the description of this video the Social Media Ninja Academy. Like I said, we have the YouTube program. We have 4 different belt levels. Before we get into the features and the statistics, here's the bottom line with the YouTube Ninja Academy. A lot of people, a lot of marketers are going to sell you this idea that I have an easy system to help you win. I see it on Facebook all the time. I'm going to help you do Facebook ads easy. There's nothing easy about it. If it were easy, we'd all be doing it. And no one would be winning because everybody would be doing this easy thing. The hard is what makes it good. So I want to help you avoid this delusion of there's some easy formula that someone's just going to teach you and then all of a sudden you're going to start winning. That is a lie straight from the pit of hell. Okay? So I want to help you avoid that. A lot of people are going to sell you growth. Because I get the emails all the freaking time. I can help you get this many more YouTube subscribers. Well, you have 8, so I don't know how that's going to work. They're going to sell you growth, but no one's going to teach you. Very few people are going to teach you the shortest distance between 2 points. They're not going to teach you the straight line that gets you to your definition of success. These programs are going to tell you what success is. Well, success is 1 million subscribers. Who told you that? With less than 15,000 subscribers on my marketing channel, there are months where I've pulled in way more money, I would like to say, than channels 10 times bigger than mine. Now, granted, that's because I was selling a product and not relying on AdSense, but it's just this idea that I'm just going to get you raw growth and I'm going to help you do it fast. Like, I hate those marketing ploys where it's like, get 6-pack abs fast and easy. There is no easy, fast 6-pack abs. You're going to work. Now, the easy way to do it is to work and stay committed. But the work itself is not necessarily going to be easy until you train your mind to accept that. So what at the core of what we are pitching with our Ninja Academy is saving you time. It's taking everything, not just that I've learned, but that I've learned from other YouTubers way more successful than me who've been kind enough to share their wisdom with me. It's what I've learned in the game. It's what I've learned in business outside of YouTube, what I've learned as a combat leader in place. Like, I've led people, literally large groups of people, in places where folks were trying to kill us. And it's condensing all of that information into a program, an elite learning program that's going to help you avoid the pitfalls of failure in every area. It's going to help you have a vision that's greater than just getting views or making funny videos. It's going to help you build something that's valuable that people want to be a part of for the long term. It's also going to help you understand that everything we're doing here is temporary. I mean, imagine just for a second, you put all this effort in, like the Minecart family, you built 750 videos in 6 months and then YouTube shuts down in a month. What do you have to show for all that work? Well, one of the things we talk about in our program is you need to have a plan B. And you need to think about this as more than just a YouTube career. You need to think about this as, what are you actually trying to give to people? YouTube is the platform today that you're using. How could it be repurposed to go somewhere else if YouTube were to tank? Now, will YouTube tank? Probably not. But it's just understanding these types of principles. Then, for business owners that I work with, it's, how can I use the YouTube platform to get my business in front of people, to help people, to make money, and to build what's called brand insistence? How can I build brand insistence? How can I understand biology and psychology to know how to build a brand that people cannot resist? There's a lot of things that we talk about. So, if you want the gimmicky, here's how to get 50,000 subscribers in a week, or here's how to get 6-pack abs in less than 30. Here's how to lose 40 pounds in a month. I love those videos. I love them. Like, here's how to lose, if you'll lose 10 pounds in your first week or your money back. Well, nobody loses 10 pounds, but nobody also wants their money back because they do lose 2 pounds. They're like, well, it's better than zero. But in the commercial, it's like lose 10 pounds or your money back. It's gimmicky. Screw gimmicks. I hate them. So what we're talking about here is basically taking the ninja that's within you, helping you get to understand it and develop it, and then turn that into something highly valuable that people will want for years to come. Not just a flash in the pan, not just 15 minutes of fame. A fence that goes up fast falls down fast. Mark my words. People that get this really quick success, it happens in every profession. Louis C.K., the comedian, talks about that all the time. He's like, there are comedians that blow up very quickly and then you never hear about them again because they suck. Like they have gimmicks that get people's attention and they're kind of goofy and they last for a year and then he's like, basically they hit a plateau and everybody forgets about them and the cream always rises to the top. We're about turning you into the cream. We're about turning you into ninjas. And like I said, we're getting ready to launch our Facebook pilot program. Hopefully next week, if my children allow me to do some filming during the day tomorrow, I'm going to start knocking out videos with the Facebook program. But right now, it's just the YouTube program of the Facebook program to come. Cool part is everybody in our gold belt, which is our monthly VIP program, everybody in that is going to get access to the Facebook pilot for free. So no one's going to have to pay extra to get into the initial part of the Facebook program until it's finalized, and then the pilot videos will always be free for those people. So now to talk about the features, now that you know my goal, this whole purpose of this academy is to save you time. It's to cut the learning curve of having to come to YouTube and do it for 3 years and learn from your mistakes. You learn from my mistakes. You can learn from the mistakes of other people who are more successful than me. You know, it's funny, I coach people that are way more successful than me in terms of followers. You know, one of the things I believe in wholeheartedly is value, and I believe in the win-win. There are things that I would need to do to grow faster that would be losing for me, so I don't do them. There are things that I know don't work on YouTube. I do them because I want to do them, and I know the 100 people that watched it got something great out of it, and that's okay with me. That's winning for me. Did I get $1 million in AdSense? Nope. Did it add to my bottom line by selling product? Nope. But I made 100 people hella happy, and that makes me happy. So that doesn't work for you. If growth is your thing, then you're still going to get the principles that help with growth. I'm not against growth. What I'm against is someone who just wants to grow for the sake of growing because somebody told you that was a good idea. And then it's, what do you do with the growth? Once you have it, then what? How do you keep it? How do you turn it into income so that you can continue to win more and more? Okay, so these are some of the things to talk about. Now, you're talking about the features of the program. You're talking about different belt levels. We have the white belt level, which is the beginner YouTube. We're going to teach you everything from how to build a strategy for YouTube and a plan, understanding your niche and your vertical, what's the difference between those things, understanding tentpole events, kind of the basics of what you need to do before you start creating content on YouTube. And then understanding something as simple as, well, it's not simple, it can be quite complicated. Understanding what type of camera do you need if you're a vlogger or a video game player. And my counterpart, the designer in our company, she does those videos. Her name's Anna, and she's freaking amazing. She teaches people how to do picture in a picture. You know, the things that beginning YouTubers don't necessarily know how to do, or they've read some blog where it makes it insanely hard, and Anna boils that down and makes it extremely easy to get up and off the ground. And then we talk about building your YouTube plan. Here's the plan you're going to use. It's not going to be perfect. Things are going to adjust, but it's the plan that will guide you. It's how you get the excitement phase of your YouTube or your social media influencing career right. And that's really what the white belt is about. Then we have what's called the green belt, and this is the technical piece. It's understanding, and this is something that would help the Minecart family. This is understanding the nuts and bolts of YouTube. All this advice I just gave him about why live streaming is not working. That's the type. Now, I don't talk a lot about live streaming in the green belt, but that's that technical understanding. What is search engine optimization? Where did it come from? How does it work? How does it work differently on YouTube than it works on Google, for example? You know, and the fact that YouTube is way behind Google in terms of how SEO works. So you have to be a lot more deliberate than you would have to be, say, writing a blog on a website. Understanding those things, but then understanding the inner workings of YouTube itself. The blue belt is the next phase where we work on the creator. It's how do we make you the best you ever? And interestingly enough, this is the belt where people figure out whether or not YouTube is right for them. Because we're taking your plan and your idea and then helping you. And then so in every program I do, I make people take a personality test. That's in the blue belt. But then I give you some information specifically related to YouTube about what your personality temperament may mean. Then we talk about how to become a compelling person. What makes somebody compelling? Do you know? Is it charisma? Is it no? There are people that have actually measured how to become compelling. We talk about that. And we talk about how you can increase how compelling you are by understanding where you're great and where you fall short and how to make the necessary adjustments. So the blue belt is all about focusing on making you the strongest creator that you can be. And then the black belt, which is closed to the public, but I do talk to people about it. Definitely follow me on Facebook if you're interested in that piece so we can talk. Because I like to interview people before I let them into the black belt because one, it is not cheap. Okay. It's also not expensive because what you pay for it and what you get out of it is like here and here, okay? But it's not cheap, and I don't want people getting in there who aren't entrepreneurially hate that word. Like I don't want non-business people in that program because it's really focused on folks that want to look beyond just YouTube as a job and start thinking about how do I actually understand the principles that make good business work. Okay, we talk about things like evolutionary psychology and how that leads to brand insistence with a business, how you can make your brand irresistible. Right? I talk about a lot of the struggles that I had when I first came to YouTube and some of the biggest mistakes I made in an insane amount of detail, going through every facet of it and being very transparent to help people understand, never ever make this mistake. Okay, these are the things that we're going to cover in there. And then we have the Gold Belt, the VIP monthly program, which allows VIPs every month to sit with me. And matter of fact, we have our next meeting, I think on the 24th of June, and we talk live. And I mean talk. It's not me talking to the screen and you leaving me comments. I'm on a headset, everybody's on a headset, and we're talking to one another. And people are asking. And it's the most valuable part of the program by far because one, in every Gold Belt meeting, I do a full-on channel review. So people like Minecart, I'd come to your channel and I will dissect it. I'll go through every facet of your channel, show you the things that are winning, show you the things that aren't winning, show you how to use your analytics at a very high level. That's another thing that's in the blue belt is it's either blue or green belt where we teach you how to use your analytics properly. But we go through your analytics together so I can show you practically how to execute. Like, oh, this is what's winning. I need to do more of this. Like, how did I know the INFP videos are working on my channel? Because I understand how to read my analytics, right? And I can understand what's going to happen next because my analytics allow me to do some predictive analysis on my channel. So we go through your channel step by step. Usually takes, depending on the channel, because some channels aren't really off the ground yet. Those don't take as long, but it can take up to an hour to go through that. And then we go through some lessons, and then we have Q&A. And that's the channel review and the Q&A are the most valuable things we do in the program. All the other things you could spend 10 years figuring out on your own. Now, again, what the program sells is time. It's going to help you do it in 50 hours instead of 10 years, right? But in that Gold Belt program, that Q&A and that channel review cuts down on the learning curve and gives you time back because then you can ask me all the things under the sun that you're trying to get across, and I'm not reading a teleprompter and responding the best way I know how. We can actually have a conversation. And that's what this program is going to do for you. I believe in this program so strongly, hear me, that I offer a money-back guarantee. And so here's one piece of feedback I got from one of the entrepreneurs in the program. He wrote me a message after he'd been in it for a while. And he was one of those guys that bought it and got through the stuff. Like I think it took him 3 days to get through everything. He was like, dude, this was amazing. He wrote me an email. He's like, hey, bro, why? And I'm trying to remember his words. I may misquote him just in terms of some of the language he used, but the point is the same. He's like, why in hell is this program so cheap? He's like, I've bought courses for my business that cost more than this that don't do a tenth of what, and that's, I don't know if you used a tenth, but it's like I bought courses for my business that don't come close to this that cost way more. How in the world are you doing it so cheap? And I explained to him, my goal is not to make billions of dollars off this program. It's to give people an affordable means to get information they're just not really going to get from someone else for the price. Because I'm in other programs where they try to upsell you all this other nonsense for insane amounts of money. I mean, I've literally been in programs where the highest level thing is $120,000. And the thing is, you get to come to my house for a night and talk to me for $120,000. Now, I'm not saying it's not valuable. If this guy tells me how to, break the laws of physics in that hour-long dinner meeting, then that'd probably be worth $120,000. I don't know too many people have $120,000 lying around just to throw at me, especially not trying to grow on YouTube. I know a program that's $1 million. Those are extreme, but they exist, and they don't spend the amount of time. Or I can't say that they don't because I didn't go to the dinner party, but I imagine the dinner party is not 50 hours long. You know what I mean? But the point is, I wanted to have something where it's almost like I'm giving away the information, but I'm doing it in a way that also helps me take care of my people that work for me and work with me. So there's a win-win. Like, people get something that's insanely cheap to them, but it means the world to us. So that's what that is. I would definitely like you all to check that out, not for my sake, but for yours. If you're interested in it, you can just pull the trigger. You're not going to see the gold belt when you go there. A lot of people ask me that. The gold belt only becomes available once you have joined. So when you join at any belt level, white, green, blue, or black, and black, you're not going to be able to join because we have to have a conversation, because before I let somebody join the black belt, I have to know that you are a good fit for the program. And I need to know you better before I let you in, because I'm not going to let you pay that much money and then get there and be like, oh, dude, this is amazing, but it's not going to help me. I'm not this guy. So we'll have a conversation. But from white, green, or blue, or black, if you get approved to be in that, as soon as you join, you'll see the option to join the gold belt. I can't recommend the gold belt enough. I think it's one of the cheaper things that we do, but it's the most valuable. And that's the way I built it. So with that in mind, let's take some last minute questions. And then I'm going to go eat a brownie with my family, get ready to go to bed. Let's see. So I'm not trying to have an awkward silence. I'm just reading. It looks like you guys were having a conversation. I'm looking to see if there's any questions for me. All right, cool. Looks like it was a good conversation. Cool. All right. Any last minute questions? Minecart says, thanks, Brian. It's my pleasure, dude. Or lady. I assume you're a guy. It looks like your avatar has a beard, so. But with family, you never know. Maybe one of the kids or the wife. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Raven says she has no questions. Thanks for coming, Raven. It's always good to see you, and especially knowing what time it is where you live. The sun should be coming up now. Kimberly says, I would like to talk with you outside of this to talk about my options. Absolutely. So I believe in the description, and just in case this isn't true, I'm going to go ahead and post it for Kimberly here. And anybody can do this, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and post my Facebook page. And what I want you to do is just hit me up in DM, and we can talk about anything you need. BryantChambers page. I think I spelled this right. So if you hit the Facebook page and just send me a DM with, and here's the deal, you can ask me anything you want to ask me in there, whether it's related to the program or what have you. And I'll answer any questions that you have. We can talk about options, anything that you need. And here's the other thing too. One of the other reasons why I like to interview folks is if I talk to you and I feel like, so there was a guy that hit me up recently asking questions. And as he went through, we just realized, I don't know that the program at the highest level is what you need based on what you want to do. So why would I wouldn't try to take him to that level if I knew he wasn't going to get 10 times more out of it than what he was going to have to pay. So I just told him, I said, you'd probably be better off doing one of the lower levels and then just doing the gold belt, because then you still get access to some of it. That's the trick that everybody has figured out about the gold belt, and they think I didn't know it. I'm the dude that built it. I know the trick is there. Is a lot of people will join the white belt and then the gold belt. And then what they realize is, oh, I get access to some of the black belt stuff because he teaches some of the black belt lessons in the live shows. And it's like, oh, that's a sweet deal. So you get a taste, no matter what belt you're at, you get a taste of the higher levels. But the point is, I'll answer anything you want, because what I want to make sure 100%, just like when I'm working with clients and doing services, is, I had a client recently that was like, I'm going to give you this much money to do it. I said, wait a minute, we haven't even talked about your business yet. Why are you talking about money? The worst thing I could do for your business is to come in with some cookie cutter package that says I charge $2,000 a month to do this thing, go. If I don't know anything about your business or your goals or your struggles, I don't know if that package is going to help you. And in my business, I don't have packages. I don't believe in them. I believe in coming in and understanding your business. And then when I'm doing services, products is a little bit different. When I'm doing services, it's like, well, let's figure out if this thing, like, don't throw money at me. Let me figure out what your problem is. Because what if you're going to overpay me? I don't want that, because then you're going to overpay me and then not get results that you like. Then you're going to be mad. Like, I'd rather, if the right thing is to pay less and get the proper results, then you will pay me more later because I'm helping you win. So absolutely. And that's for everybody. That wasn't directed at Kimberly. It's for anybody that has questions. Send them to me so we can figure out, is this even really a good fit for you? Like I said, I've had people come through the program and going through the black belt, what they realized was, I need to do a completely different business, and YouTube's not going to help me do this business. So I'm out. Like, thank you for the memories. And I said, thank you for coming. I'm so glad I was able to help you. You know what I mean? So definitely let's have the talk. Let's figure that out. That'd be sweet. Raven says, I think my alarm was set wrong. Facebook said you were starting at 4 a.m. Yes, no, I was. Well, your time, it would have been. No, I think your time it would have been 3 a.m. Right? Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah, it should have been 3, not 4. Minecart says, so do you do channel evals? And yes, in the Gold Belt program, I do a channel review every month. And so here's the promise, because the Gold Belt has a monthly fee associated with it. Anybody that joins the Gold Belt gets a channel review. So let's give you an example. You join the Gold Belt tonight, right? Pay the monthly fee, you're in there, you come to the next live call, but your channel's not the one we review, right? Some financial thing happens, you got to quit. You don't have the loot anymore. You still, should you choose to redeem it, would get a channel review at some later date. You would be invited out to a show to say, hey, we're going to do the next show on July 56th. Are you available that night? Because I have a slot open for a channel review. And if you said yes, even though you were no longer in the Gold Belt, you would be brought out to do the channel review. Right? That's kind of basically was my Christmas gift to everybody, because I have people who've been in the Gold Belt, because the Gold Belt was the only thing that existed when I first started. And people joined just on blind faith. And so all the people that did that didn't know me from Adam, that joined, I give them so much value because they continue. Like, I think maybe 85% of those people are still in the program. And so I wanted to give them something valuable. But then I passed that on to new members too. So yes, we do in-depth channel evaluations too. And we've helped some people explode. Some people not so much, because at the end of the day, players got to play. I'm Morpheus. I can take you to the Oracle and I can tell you about the Matrix, but until you decide that you're the one, that's really the catalyst that sets it off. But yeah, we definitely do channel reviews. Let's see. Is that part of the program for Ninja Camp? Yes. So the channel reviews are part of the monthly gold belt. And it used to be called the VIP program. So if you go to if you go to the website and it's still talking about the VIP program, because I updated it, but I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure I got all the bases covered. The gold belt and the VIP program are the same thing. All right. Since you have a family as well, happy early Father's Day if I don't see you. Absolutely. Same to you, my friend. God bless. So, any last minute questions before we sign off here? If you didn't get a question answered, or if you were too shy to post it in public, by all means, hit me on the Facebook page. Hopefully that link I posted was the right link. But honestly, if you just go to Facebook and search BryantChambers page, my fan page will come up. I do all of my chatting on my fan page. I reserve my personal Facebook page for just my family and the soldiers that I work with in the military. Because if I brought my business into my personal page, it would just be a nightmare. So please respect that and stick to the fan page and don't send me a friend request that I have to deny because I hate doing that. It makes me feel bad because I don't like to turn people away. But and the funny thing is I'm 100 times more active on my fan page than I am on my personal page anyway. It's better. You're better off being there. And you can send me DMs and messages there. So get it in. Send me whatever questions you have. If you didn't get a question answered here, you can message me that on Facebook. I'm usually pretty quick in getting those answers to questions turned around. And if you got questions about the academy, definitely come and ask me there if you want to join. Here's the deal too. Leave me a comment if you're watching this and you're planning to join the academy without asking questions. I'd like to know so that I can have me and my team ready to receive you. Get all your account information and stuff set up. So we're looking for you in the system to make sure all your permissions are set up properly. I would very much like to make sure that the minute you join, it's not more than a couple of minutes before you get access to everything that you should have access to. So I really want to say I appreciate all of your time. Looks like a few more comments came in. Kimberly says, experience. I will think about things tonight and will DM you tomorrow. Sweet. I will look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Excellent. Thank you. Minecart says, sounds really cool. I will see what I can do to save up for your program. Yeah, and remember, there's other stuff out there too. There's tons of books you can read if you go to my website. While you're saving your money, there's things that you could be doing that can still benefit you. And one of the things that will help you most, hopefully you have my free ebook. Hopefully. If you don't, send me a DM. I'll send you a link to it because I think the link is broken on my website. If you guys aren't using my free YouTube ebook, you should be. It's certainly the program goes into way more detail because the ebook is an ebook. I can only cover so much without making it 4,000 pages that no one would read. But definitely get access to that while you're waiting, so that you're constantly, and not just my ebook. There's Tim Schmoyer's ebook is really, really good. It was one of the first things I read about YouTube when I decided to attack the platform, wanting to learn the nuances of it. And there's books like Jab, 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 Right Hook, I think is mandatory reading. It's not really going to help you with YouTube because Gary Vaynerchuk doesn't cover YouTube in that book. But he covers a lot of other principles that would be very helpful for you to know. My Cart Family says, one more question. What is the one most important thing you can give as a tip for getting through the hard grind? Well, I don't know that I have one tip, but I can tell you that when I'm tired and when I'm frustrated, it happens. Sometimes I get into the frustration part of phase 3. When I'm tired and I'm hurting, and I think about the thing that keeps me in the game more than anything is the way my faith and my belief works is there's going to come a day where my dad and I are going to meet each other again in eternity. And he's going to look at me. And I'm going to have to give an account, even though he's watching, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to have to look him in the eye knowing what I did with my life after he left. And I want to be able to get there and show him that I took everything he bled through. Because you're talking about a man A black man that lived through segregation and some of the harshest racism in one of the hardest businesses to be successful for black people in the history of this country, and that's the military. And he fundamentally changed the way the military deals with race. Not single-handedly, but he certainly had a big hand in it. And when I have to face him and talk about the things I did after he left, after he paved the road for me to be successful, if I don't have a good report, he's not going to be ashamed, but I will. And so when I'm tired, I just remind myself that the end game that I'm working toward is way more important than how tired I am today. And that's why it's vitally important that whatever you were shooting toward, going back to the excitement part of tonight's discussion, whatever you were shooting for better be the right thing. And it better be strong enough to keep you in the game when you get tired. That's my tip. Yeah, you can get it, my cart. Send me a private message on Facebook because there's no way I'm going to remember to do that. I have too many children and too much work going on to remember that you and I discussed that as much as I love you. Send me a DM on Facebook to remind me and I'll get it to you. And I'll try to get the link back up on my website. The funny thing is you run a marketing agency and you learn from being in the business that you don't get any business from your website. So most of us marketers that have been in the game for a while, we don't spend a lot of time trying to make our websites awesome because that's not how we get our business. So I make updates and it's like I make them when I get around to it because my business thrives when I'm in the trenches, of social media and working with clients, not making sure my website is awesome. Because most of my clients don't look at my website. They couldn't care less. They care about their website. Let's see. Cool. All right. Looks like we've answered all the questions. God bless each and every one of you. Says, thanks, man. That is the same end game I believe in. Sweet. So God bless each and every one of you for watching tonight. I'm very grateful to have you here, that you've given me your ear, your eyeballs, and most importantly, your most valuable asset, which is your time. If there's anything I can do to help you, please send me a DM in Facebook. Ask me questions about the Ninja Academy. Ask me questions about your channels, or if YouTube is even the right move for you. I'm very much looking forward to talking to Kimberly to see where she's winning and to see if we can repurpose that for YouTube specifically. And we'll see what we can do. Remember that YouTube and marketing is not the focus, not the only focus of this channel. I talk a lot about on these live calls. We deal with relationships and marriage. But I want to have a holistic approach to building a life strategy for you. So I felt like this was important. This is also for people who are slightly new around here. I have a much bigger channel that I ran for a couple of years, but I'm working to fuse that into my personal brand because I think my personal brand has way more potential and certainly much more power than my marketing brand. So this was kind of the first foray into bringing the marketing world into the coaching that I do here. So God bless each and every one of you. Remember that we are stronger than I. I love you all very much, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless.